Well, race up the temperature, 50 degrees here in Chapel Hill for today's game between North Carolina and North Carolina State. And up the intensity for a historic meeting in a 125-year-old rivalry. 1993, the last time these programs met when both were ranked. The Tar Heels went to Raleigh and blasted the Wolfpack under rising star head coach Mack Brown. These schools have long hated each other, separated by just 25 miles. This is an in-your-face rivalry that dates back to 1894. The Wolfpack, the Tar Heels. It's the 110th meeting. Next. Welcome to college football on ESPN, presented by Geico. From Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Kenan Stadium, you're watching the ACC on ESPN. 14th ranked North Carolina looking to bounce back from that disappointing loss against Florida State. Welcoming number 23 NC State. The Wolfpack has won 3 in a row in Chapel Hill. And hello everybody, I'm Dave Pasch here in the AZ. Mike Golick is in Bristol. And Mike, this is an important game obviously for bragging rights, but more important in the standings.
Oh, without question. Both teams right below Clemson and Notre Dame. Now, so this probably that elimination game for these two. And when you're looking at this game, this rivalry and that fighting, I don't condone fighting, but boy, that got my blood going. You look at the best player on the field, and that's going to be Sam Howell. That is going to be the guy everybody looks to. While they're running the ball better this year as North Carolina, Sam Howell, it's going to rely on his arm to see how this game turns out for North Carolina.
North Carolina State will start with the ball. Let's bring in now the third member of our crew from Chapel Hill. Here's Marty Smith.
Dave, Mike, good afternoon. These two programs are diametrically opposed in every way. They do not like each other, as we saw there in the open. Isaiah Moore, the great linebacker for the Wolfpack, told us this week, the more I play against them, the less I like them. Dave Doran, the head coach for the Wolfpack, said this is going to be, quote, a freaking war. And let me tell you about Doran. He walked out of the locker room this morning, took one look at me and said, Marty, you need more red in your suit. I said, Coach, I wore chocolate brown because it's the one suit I own I knew wouldn't tick you off today.
All right, Marty, on the first play, an incomplete pass for Bailey Hockman, who is now the starting quarterback for North Carolina State because Devin Leary broke his leg against Duke last week, might miss the rest of the season. Hockman did start the first 2 games this year when Leary was out because of contract tracing. He's a transfer from Florida State. Junior from Powder Springs, Georgia, and he's going to throw it on second down as well. And the pass is caught out across the 30-yard line by Thayer Thomas. So bring up third down and about 4.
So while you mentioned Bailey Hockman started the first couple of games, Dave, because Devin Leary was in contact tracing, it didn't all go that well for him. So they need to get this young man into a nice rhythm. You saw tried a quick pass early on where there was nobody open, a quick slant second play. They'll try and get their running game going as well. Try and get him into an early rhythm as they go right to a Wildcat.
Yep, it's Ricky Person with Hockman split out wide to the top of your screen. And Person trying to get outside but can't. He is cut down near the line of scrimmage. Good job by Day Hollins defensively out in space.
Yeah, the hole was there, and you got to know where you got to get the first down. You just go north and south to make something happen. Tried to go a little east and west, and Dada, as we said, or Day, I'm sorry, makes a phenomenal play going down low, leg tackle, forcing the punt. Running back got to go north and south on that.
Trenton Gill, who's number 1 all-time in career punt average for NC State, will kick it deep to the dangerous Daz Newsome for the Tar Heels. Newsome has to back up and fields it on his 16-yard line, trying to get the perimeter. And pushed out of bounds around the 25-yard line by Peyton Wilson. Now here is Sam Howell, true sophomore quarterback who just turned 20 years old. Last year set the true freshman record for touchdown passes with 38.
He's a guy, Dave, that, I mean, they have to rely again on his arm. As I said in the open, the running game is much better this year by over 40 yards per game. So they're definitely going to try and get that going. But this man's arm is going to lead a whole lot.
He will throw it here on first down and slings it complete out across the 30-yard line to Emery Simmons, who's getting the start because Bo Corrales, one of their top receivers, is out today due to injury.
Both these offenses will move at a quick pace. Certainly with all the experience that Sam got last year, he is in definite command of this offense.
Al again to the air, and it's a first down catch out across the 40-yard line. Good balance. De'Ami Brown, who is a talented junior from Charlotte, 19 touchdowns a year ago. 3 already this season.
So here's the big difference, Dave. Last year, Sam Howell played so well, but it was a 7-6 team. They win the bowl game to make them 7-6. This year, the expectations are higher. 3-0, ranked number 5. They fall last week. So more will even fall on Sam Howell to reproduce what he did last year because the expectations are even higher this year.
NC State has a pretty good defense, though, especially at the linebacker position. There's Terrell Dawkins making the tackle in the backfield on Michael Carter. It's a loss of 4 on the play.
Oh, let me tell you, this is my first love when I started playing football, Dave. I was a linebacker in Little League and in high school, then went to outside backer a bit in college before, you know, having to put my hand on the ground because all my athletic ability left me. These linebackers, there's some on both teams that you could be watching some of the best linebackers in the country, and the 3 they have at North Carolina State are incredible.
After that 3-yard loss, they're going to run it here on second down. Javonte Williams able to keep his feet and drive forward near midfield. Good run for Javonte Williams. Both Williams and Carter average over 100 yards rushing per game as you look at the linebacker numbers for NC State.
Yeah, this is in the ACC. Peyton Wilson, by the way, is 6th in all the football in FBS. Last week against Duke, this trio had 41 tackles, 3.5 tackles for losses, 2 interceptions, both by Wilson. It is one of the most active groups out there, and that man, number 11, that is a throwback player, gang. 6'4", about 240, and he loves to hit.
On third down and 6, Howell to the air, and it's caught for a first down inside the NC State 40 by De'Ami Brown. North Carolina State is number 16 in the country in third down defense, but Howell had all day to throw, and Brown was wide open.
Yeah, and what you're seeing right now, you saw the 3 passes, all on the outside, all with a big cushion that North Carolina State is showing right now. So you're still seeing it here. They're off pretty much, walking up a bit at the top of the screen. But Sam's going to take advantage of that if he's going to go to the air.
Snap was high. Javonte Williams gets the call, and he's stuffed at the line of scrimmage. There's Drake Thomas, one of those backers. Sophomore from Wake Forest, North Carolina, who's really good friends with the North Carolina quarterback, Sam Howell.
Yeah, he and Sam Howell and Drake Thomas played in the high school All-American game together. So they know each other pretty well. So you got to wonder if there's, you know, a little bit of smack talk going on here.
A 1-yard pickup. Howell back to throw here on second down and 9. Fires down the seam, complete. Near the 20-yard line is the tight end, Garrett Walston.
Boy, Howell is making it look easy right now. Wilson right past the linebacker, right before the safety. Just puts it right in there, right where it needed to be. He is so relaxed, Dave, in the pocket. He has incredible poise for a young player. But again, because he got so much experience last year. There you go on the outside again. The corner's playing off, and I'm sure North Carolina is saying, hey, okay, you know, Phil Longo, the offensive coordinator, is saying, fine, they want to do that. We'll just keep hitting it to the outside, make it second and short, and keep our playbook fully open.
And so 5 for 5 passing now for Sam Howell. That was Simmons, who came in with no catches on the year. Already has 2 here on the opening drive, 4 all of last year. And the 9th play of the drive with North Carolina at the NC State 17. They're going to run it here on first down. And again, tough to do between the tackles. Not much there with Tyler Baker-Williams making the stop on Michael Carter. Pickup of about 2.
It'll be interesting where this running attack goes because we've talked so much about Howell. Wait till we get to Carter and Williams, the 2-headed running back situation they have here at North Carolina, which is fantastic. We'll start showing you some stats on these guys, but they have been incredible. 11th in the country in rushing. That's certainly going to help your quarterback in play action and through the air.
On 3rd and 4, they run Carter, able to get to the outside. And Carter close to the goal line, no signal yet. He's out of bounds at the 1. Or is he in? I'm calling this game from home and I can't see an official. So I'll have to trust what they're putting up on the television, and it says he's into the end zone for a touchdown.
Into the end zone for a touchdown. Yes, a nice patient run bouncing to the outside. Good pull, good kick out, good blocking downfield by Emery Simmons. And then Carter does the rest as I just start talking about the rushing attack and what these guys are able to do. And a lot of times, you know, Javonte Williams has been the bigger back and could be there.
It's a touchdown. That play is under further review.
So we'll see.
You saw the left foot, Mike. You saw the left foot get in. Where was the ball?
I think this is going to stay, Dave. I think he was in. We'll see again. The ball. So the ball's in the right hand. So you're right. The left foot goes inside the pylon, and the ball looks like it goes right over the top of the pylon.
That should be good. Should be a touchdown. Just was looking to see if that right foot hit out of bounds first, but it didn't appear
did not.
to.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. That's definitely going to be a touchdown, and that's what these running backs are pretty used to here at North Carolina. 10 rushing touchdowns for Michael Carter on the season. That's number 11 right there. They have a huge offensive line. We'll begin to talk about them as well, but what a drive that was, Dave. Mixing up outside runs because of the cushion they were given. The running attack, which I do think will be tough going up the middle, but they'll keep trying. But when you see these guys, and Carter, the swifter one of the two backs,
after further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
So Michael Carter with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. He struggled last week against Florida State. That entire run game did for North Carolina. They were down 31-7 to the Seminoles at halftime, but came back, had a chance maybe to tie it late, but some drop passes on the final possession. But Matt Brown told us they had a great week of practice, and boy, they certainly looked like it on that opening drive. It started with defense getting the 3 and out, but then a touchdown run by Carter to cap off an excellent opening drive offensively for the Heels. We do have a penalty flag. We do on the point after.
Offense number 84. 10-yard penalty. We'll replay the try.
All right, so it'll be a little bit of a longer kick. As I mentioned, Michael Carter, by my mistake, said 10 touchdowns between the two of them. Williams has 7 rushing touchdowns, and now Carter 3 between the two of them, 10 rushing touchdowns. So that's Carter, and they'll split time with Javonte Williams, so we'll see them both in this offense. And boy, they complement each other well as now the quarterback and what Howell does as we see this a little longer, more like an NFL extra point now.
Grayson Atkins, grad student, is the place kicker. He has missed a couple kicks this year from 40 plus. This is still inside 40 despite the penalty, and has no problem with it. So in this matchup of ranked teams, only the 3rd time these two teams have met when both are ranked, in North Carolina with the early 7-0 lead. Coming up 2 Eastern, ESPN Plus, live from Fight Island, Habib Nurmagomedov against Justin the Highlight Gaethje. And I know, Mike, you're incredibly impressed with Gaethje. What is an 8-year-old wrestling a bear?
That was
preparation.
Nurmagomedov was the one who, when he was 8, wrestled a bear. I mean, this dude, 28-0, probably 2 more fights in his career. That is going to be a good one. We're going to talk about that one. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, let's go to Matt Berry in the studio.
Hello, gentlemen. Happy College Football Saturday. Time now for the Rocket Mortgage Studio Update. Checking in on Clemson, Syracuse. Trevor Lawrence to Cornell Powell, his 16th touchdown pass of the season, tying Sam Ehlinger. And oh, by the way, this line closed at Clemson minus 48 if you're into that kind of thing.
Man, Clemson coming off that absolute destruction of Georgia Tech, where Lawrence threw for, 400 yards in the first half?
Yeah.
At it again against the Cuse.
You don't even know what to say sometimes watching them play and watching him play. Incredible.
They're going to run it on 1st down to Ricky Person. Good hole. Able to bounce off the tackle and has a 1st down out across the 35-yard line.
Fellas, some injury news on the defensive side of the ball for the Tar Heels. They're out both starting cornerbacks today. Storm Duck, all name team, out for the third consecutive week with a lower body injury, and Patrice Renee also out today. We'll see if NC State can take advantage of that in the passing game.
All right, Marty, thank you. First down on the NC State 36, and Bam Wright, who was almost down but landed on a defensive player, kept his feet moving and picked up a yard. Storm Duck, it's possible he'll be back at some point this year. Renee has battled knee injuries the last couple of years. They're hoping it's just a short-term situation for him.
My real disappointment is the fact that we're probably not going to say Storm Duck anymore this afternoon. I mean, that is a phenomenal name.
We do get to say Bam Knight, though. He's in the game
Yes,
running back for NC State. Second down and 8 for Bailey Hockman, filling in for the injured Devin Leary. Don Knight leaving the backfield there. Hockman with time, long throw, and an errant pass trying to go to the sideline to Devin Carter.
Yeah, you know, Marty brings up the point. Those are two cornerbacks out. You know, Patrice Renee has the second most career starts on this defense. Only Tumon Fox has 26. Renee has 22. So that's experience at the corner. Storm Duck, a really good player who is sitting out. So it is, can they take advantage of that on the side there? Got a little injury going on there with Ricky Person at this point, but that throw was really not very well done into double coverage.
Coaches, they want Hockman just to let it fly.
Yep.
See it and get rid of it. Don't think too much. Don't wait for guys to get open. Anticipate. Here he is on third down and 8, taking a shot. That pass looked like it was on target, but Carter couldn't pull it in. Just past his fingertips. Another 3 and out for NC State.
And the one thing North Carolina State does have, and Carter's one of them, he is 6'4". It looked like you put a nice amount of air under that ball. You have 6'4", 6'3", 6'4" as far as receivers. It looked like a pretty nice pass out there, a good way to go. At the end of the day, if Hockman doesn't have someone to throw to, he's going to be told, take it deep to one of your guys, and hope they win that 50-50 ball because of their height.
Gill the punt for the second time already. With Daz Newsome, the deep man. Good kick, and Newsome lets it bounce. It checks up, and going to be close. I think it crossed the plane.
Well, that was like a heck
It is
of
a touchback. It will come out to the 20-yard line.
It's like your golf shot, Dave, trying to back that thing up, huh? Oh, just on the goal line. So already a couple of punts for North Carolina State. North Carolina getting the ball back with a 7-zip lead.
ESPN College Football is presented by Geico. Happy Geico-ween. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance. And in part by Behr. Today, let's paint. Exclusively at the Home Depot.
NC State has won 3 of the last 4 games in this rivalry. Their big play receiver is Devin Carter. Looked like he had a chance to make a play on that last throw by Hockman. Could not come up with it. NC State has to punt.
Yeah, I agree, Dave. He's the guy. He's the go route guy. He's the 9 route guy that they like. Again, 6'4", got some speed. Throw it up there. I thought Hockman put some good air under that ball. Maybe misjudged right at the end.
Touchback on a 62-yard punt. So North Carolina takes over on its 20-yard line. And Howell dumping it to Daz Newsome. A beautiful move. And Newsome out of past the 30-yard line. Picks up 14 yards. Let's go to Matt Berry in the studio.
All right, an AT&T 5G studio update. I'll get in your guys' name game here and raise you a Master Teague touchdown for the Buckeyes. Tied with Nebraska early, 7-7 in the first.
I got a name for you, Matt. How about Graham Mertz and what he did for Wisconsin last night? Back the throw goes Howell here on first down. He's firing it deep. And it's caught. And then Brown lost it at the last second. Boy, had it. Then at the last second, it popped free, incomplete.
Wow. So we've seen a deep route on both sides. Probably should have been caught on North Carolina State side. Absolutely should have been caught by Brown there. Last year, 3rd-team All-ACC. 16 career receiving touchdowns. And that ball could not have been placed any better by Mr. Howell. And Diame is going to look at that one tomorrow and just just shake his head. What he's got to do now is forget about it.
Had all those drops last week and a chance to come back and beat Florida State. 2nd down and 10. Howell will throw it again, in trouble in the backfield, fumbled the ball, but falls on it at the 30-yard line. It was stripped by Calvin Hart, so it'll be a negative play, loss of a handful.
Good play again by Calvin Hart here. As Howell tries to juke him, Hart gets his hand on the ball. Quick note, Calvin Hart is in for Peyton Wilson. One of the linebackers we've talked about. He's first in the ACC in tackles per game, 6th in the nation, and he is out of the game right now. He went into the tent on the sideline, North Carolina State, so Calvin Hart there in his place.
3rd down and 14 after the 4-yard loss for Sam Howell. Howell leaving the pocket here. Lets it fly. It's caught for a 1st down by Garrett Walston.
Boy, here's the tough part for you, Dave, is Howell loves to be in the pocket. Even, at 6'1", 225, he loves to stand there and throw. But, man, then if he gets outside and you let him outside and create more time, he's not looking to run the ball. He is going to look to stay behind the line of scrimmage and make a play. And that time he does it to Walston, his big tight end.
ACC Rookie of the Year and a freshman All-American in 2019, Sam Howell. He'll throw it again here off play action. And Howell fires to the sideline, and it's incomplete through the hands of Downs. Howell last year lit up NC State, threw for over 400 yards and 3 touchdowns in a 41-10 win. When you look at big plays, no one, even Trevor Lawrence, doesn't have as many big plays through the air as Sam Howell does the last year plus.
Absolutely incredible of what they've done. Last year, 90 plays, this team 20 yards or more, 41 plays, 30 yards or more. This is a big hit team without question.
On the run, Howell completes it. Simmons with his 3rd catch, and looks like he'll be just a half-yard shy of the line to gain, 3rd down. There's a Peyton Wilson.
Again, right before this series started, he was kind of shaking his leg out, walked to the sideline, then went into the tent. I'm sure he's a guy that he no doubt wants to get back in the game on 3rd and 1.
And they get the 1st down here with Carter. Keep the drive going out to the 43-yard line.
Offense has been very efficient right now. Again, nothing huge up the middle. Haven't needed it, though. When the runs have bounced outside, they've gone well. Howell throwing well. The couple passes before when he missed Josh Downs, a true freshman. That was his only real missed throw of the day so far.
Well, 1st down at the NC State 43-yard line. And through the left side, Carter, big hole. Dives close to the line to gain. He was grabbed by Jakeen Harris, but fought through that. We'll see if he got enough to move the chain.
So again, you see this is a really, really big offensive line. 305, 325, 330, 335. These big guys just get in your face. And you saw that time the back just bouncing it until he found a place to go to the outside and found that hole. They've improved this year, Dave. Again, they're 11th in the country in rushing now. They've improved by over 40 yards per game, averaging just under 230 yards a game rushing. I can't even tell you how much that helps your quarterback.
Running on the field, the runner was short of the line to gain. It's 2nd down.
All right, so they did roll. They had it marked as 1st and 10. They're bringing it back, saying he was short, so it'll be 2nd and short. But I mean,
Mike, I think Phil Longo has done a really good job here. He's in his 2nd year, came over from Ole Miss. As you look at the replay here and see that Carter there, the arm is down and the ball did not cross the line. But, Mac Brown, when he put together the staff, targeted Phil Longo, got his guy, and just looking at where this program was offensively a couple years ago when they won 2 games to where they are now, it's night and day.
30-year coaching vet, 24 years as an offensive coordinator. So he brings a lot of experience, and he's got some fun tools to play with here.
Howell's pass pulled in at the 25-yard line for a 1st down. Emory Simmons again. He's been targeted often early on here by Howell.
What a great job. I mean, just, precise route running, and Howell's throwing to a spot. He knows what the route is. He knows where the wide receiver is going to be, and he throws a nice catchable ball. Defenders on the inside. He throws it up to the outside. They are a well-oiled machine very early here in this game.
Who's going to make a play defensively for NC State? They bring a little pressure here. Carter, though, has a ton of running room inside the 15 before he's pushed out of bounds around the 11-yard line. NC State giving up way too much on first down this possession.
Offense number 72, 10-yard penalties, still first down.
So wipe out that big gain. Awesome Richards, sophomore left tackle, with the holding call.
Yeah, one of the part of that, again, big offensive line, and maybe the reason running back got to the outside on that one. That'll bring him back, start him at 1st and 20. But yeah, North Carolina State, they need to stop here, Dave. Already, without, as we see Peyton Wilson back in the game, which is great news. Again, this linebacking core has got to be the big core. They got a nice line up front. Aleem McNeil, the big man, number 29, right on the nose or right in the middle of that D line. He helps as well, making plays and protecting linebackers. They need some plays.
Howell to throw on 1st and 20, and a lot of cushion given there to the wide receiver, De'Ami Brown.
Yeah, the only problem, the throw a little low made Brown go down. His knee hit the ground, so the play is dead there. Again, they're playing off, and they're saying, okay, you know, we believe in our receiver. We're going to get him the ball. He's going to have a couple yards of space of the guy on him, and we feel he could juke him there. Now, you can't when your knee goes down, but they're taking advantage of what the defense is giving them.
Javonte Williams drilled in the backfield by Drake Thomas and tackled for a loss. So a setback of 2 or 3 on that play.
Well, again, right to your right side, that is just filling a hole. And that's what these linebackers do. While they do have range side to side, they love to fill the hole. 6 foot, 236 pounder in Drake Thomas. Very, very smart. Diagnoses a play and attacks. And when you attack, you got to make that play. You miss that play when you attack, all of a sudden that next level is free to run. He didn't miss it.
Howell with the 12th play of the drive here on 3rd and 17, steps up, runs into his own guy. Now backing up and looking deep. Instead, he's hit. Howell still moving around and finally thrown out of bounds by Dawkins back at the 40-yard line. That wasn't a smart play by Howell. Should have just gotten rid of the ball because now they're well out of field goal range.
Absolutely. I mean, that was, we've talked so highly about him. Not only his throwing, but his smarts. And first credit to North Carolina State, putting some pressure. That's a 3-man rush, gang. That's 3 men against 5. And look at the pressure they're putting on him. And Howell has got to get rid of that ball. Absolutely on him to now make it 4th and 25 and put him in a position where they have to punt instead of trying a field goal. Not a smart play by the quarterback. Great job, North Carolina State. They needed something big on that defense, and a 3-man rush provided it.
Even if he throws it away, it's about a 50-yard field goal try, but at least they have a shot at it.
Yep.
Kiernan trying to pin NC State deep, and excellent job there by the North Carolina punter from Ireland, Ben Kiernan, down at the 7-yard line, just outside a minute to go in the first quarter. Habib Nurmagomedov getting ready for his UFC match today. This is what he did as an 8-year-old. First of all, where are the parents? He's wrestling a bear. And then look at him swimming upstream here, too.
Listen, this guy is unbelievable. Gaethje Nurmagomedov coming up this afternoon. What a fight that's going to be. I definitely want to talk a little bit about it, what Nurmagomedov is going to be doing at 28-0 in the couple of fights that he has left.
Meanwhile, NC State takes over on its 7-yard line and runs Knight out past the 10, gain of 4. Let's check in with Matt Barry.
All right, so the Buckeyes have it going against Nebraska. Watch this throw by Justin Fields. 42 yards to Garrett Wilson. It is OH early. 14-7 over the Huskers in the first.
We had a lot of talk about tank for Trevor, but let's not sleep on Justin Fields as one of the top quarterbacks, if not the top quarterback. They run Knight off the left side here to the 15-yard line. Comes up short by a couple yards.
Got to feel good for everybody to start playing again in the Big Ten soon, the Pac-12. But we've had football going for a while in the SEC and the ACC. And Bailey Hockman he's a lot falling on him now with the injury to Devin Leary breaking his leg last week. Again, started the first couple of games this year. You see not a great completion percentage, certainly not good, more touchdowns or more interceptions than touchdowns. They have to get the running game going. It averages about 150 yards a game or so. They're going to need to hit some running plays. They're going to need to hit some quick passes as well to start to build his confidence, build some first downs, and get on the move. We're back after this.
Well, part of us is at Kenan Stadium anyway, although Mike actually is in Bristol. I'm in Phoenix. Marty, we all admire the facial hair and the hair on top of Marty's head as well. He is there in Chapel Hill. Don't forget, Michigan, Minnesota tonight on ABC. The Big Ten 2020 is underway. Big 3rd down and 2, and they're going to go with the direct snap here to Person, and he will not get the first down. Great job by Chaz Surratt, converted quarterback, second year as an outstanding linebacker. He and Jeremiah Gimmel were there defensively for North Carolina.
And these are the two studs on this defense, the two guys right there, Gimmel and Surratt. As we have an injury on the field, we have a North Carolina State player down. We will see how he is when we get back. It's 4th down coming up for North Carolina State.
23rd ranked North Carolina State trailing 14th rated North Carolina 7-0. The Wolfpack 13-3 and outs through the first 5 games. 3 already here in basically a quarter. Another punt for Trenton Gill. His last one went 62 yards. And this takes a hop inside the 35 and out of bounds at the 33. Here's Matt.
First games for new coaches, kind of. Mel Tucker, Michigan State. Greg Schiano making his return to Rutgers. And the Rutgers defense forces the fumble of Rocky Lombardi. Then they take it in. Johnny Langan going to punch it in from 1 yard out. Right now, 14-7 Rutgers over Michigan State.
Wow. Greg Schiano back at Rutgers. Mac Brown in his 2nd year back at North Carolina. 12th year overall. 3 10-win seasons in his first stint in Chapel Hill. Said this was the only job he would come back for. Loved his work at ESPN and ABC. He and his wife Sally said it was either the Bahamas, Hawaii, or Chapel Hill. They picked Chapel Hill. Howell finds De'Ami Brown, who's loose in the North Carolina State territory at the 49-yard line.
Well, we'll talk a lot about Mac Brown and certainly his career and what he's doing, but right now it's just too easy for, it's just 7-0 as far as how this offense is moving. Tony Gibson, the defensive coordinator, is going to have to change something up on the outside. There's just way too big a cushion. These receivers are getting the ball with way too much space to run after the catch.
Here's Howell keeping it after that 19-yard pickup by De'Ami Brown. Howell slides after a gain of about 5.
So the game here is who's winning the chess match of down and distance. And when it's 2nd and 5 or 2nd and 5 or 4, your playbook is open. The defense can be less in attack mode because you have your whole playbook, all your options with you. And this is a defense that loves to attack.
Howell on 2nd down and 5, play action pass, setting up, throwing it deep, and overshoots the intended receiver, Daz Newsome. It'll be 3rd down and 5. And again, NC State, 16th in the country in 3rd down defense, needs a stop here.
They got a big stop last series. They could use it again here. This offense for North Carolina has been going a lot better. They have 150 total yards to North Carolina State's 29, but it's just 7-0. We had a stop last series by the Wolfpack. We're looking for, this would be another big one here. Looking to bring pressure. Here they come. The double-A gap
And
blitz.
Howell in trouble, gets away from 2 defenders and takes off and picks up the 1st down. Nicely done by Sam Howell with 2 Wolfpack defenders right in his grill.
Assignment football, Dave. You have 2 blitzers up the middle. That's where the pressure's going to come from. What can't you do? Lose, contain. Whoever has contain has to understand in the system of the defense, you can't let the quarterback outside when the pressure is coming right up the gut.
So 1st down to the NC State 35-yard line. Howell throwing, and it's incomplete. Try to hit Simmons, That was well defended by Shaheem Battle, a redshirt freshman. Broke that pass up.
Now that's one of the few times we saw an outside receiver really challenged. And Battle does a nice job of challenging. The redshirt freshman, as you said, a very quiet player, just goes about his business to get the job done. But I'm glad to see the attack there.
North Carolina dropped 9 spots in the rankings after that loss in Tallahassee a week ago. Ranked 14th right now. They run Javonte Williams. Beautiful cutback move. And inside the 25-yard line, tripped up by Jakeen Harris.
What a great run. That was supposed to go left to come back all the way to the right, but I was so entranced at the end of that of Sam Howell throwing a block downfield. My eyes were glued to that as the back was running up right behind him.
That's the 11th first down for North Carolina. They're at the 24-yard line now of NC State. And Howell will give it to Williams. And Williams able to break a tackle. Nobody forces more missed tackles in all of college football than Javonte Williams. Makes defenders look silly game in, game out. C.J. Clark there lost his helmet on the takedown. He'll have to go to the sideline for a play.
So you saw the last play run left. It was supposed to run left, cut all the way back to the right. This play is supposed to go to the right and continues to the right. Contain is lost. And then Javonte Williams puts a sweet move on the outside on Devon Boykin for extra yards.
It's 1st and goal after that 14-yard run. Howell going to keep this one here inside the 5. Touchdown, North Carolina. Sam Howell's first rushing touchdown of the season.
So obviously he's looking for the quick pass to the right here with a tight end out in front of him. Sees nobody there, sees a hole, makes someone miss. Here's the thing. At times, Dave, North Carolina State has been there, but they're not making the play. They've been in position and they're not making play. And there, when your quarterback jukes you, you know, hey, thumbs up to the quarterback. But as a defender, you can't let a quarterback, you know, he can run, but he's not a real running quarterback. Let him juke you.
We thought the offense for NC State might be an issue today with a backup quarterback for all intents and purposes, but it's the defense for NC State that's struggling big time right now as Sam Howell's rushing score pushes the lead to 14-0.
I thought we were a little comfortable at Florida State.
Oh boy, and that pass is intercepted. They got run over by a freight train in this first half.
I didn't think we handled it well. We've been overrated.
Here's the play of their season. Howell dropped again. 3rd in a row.
We weren't the top 5 team in the country.
And in talking with Mack Brown this week, I feel like he meant what he said when he said that we're not a top 5 team. But it also seemed to serve as motivation as the Tar Heels have bounced back beautifully and lead their rivals 14-0. Let's bring in Marty Smith for more.
So, fellas, when you're getting beat at halftime by somebody you're supposed to beat, what do you say to your team? Well, Mack Brown thought back last weekend all the way to 1984. He was the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma for Barry Switzer, and they went to Kansas, and they were just awful. They were down 10-7 at halftime with a little-known third-string quarterback by the name of Troy Aikman. Ultimately, they go into the locker room at halftime, and Mack Brown went off on them for 20 minutes. You're going to lose this game. They end up losing. On the plane back to Norman afterwards, Brown sat beside Coach Switzer and said, "Coach, I blew it. I'm sorry." He said, "It's going to happen. You were down 2 quarterbacks. But at halftime, I sat there and listened to you tell those kids they were going to lose. Don't ever do that again. Don't tell them they're going to lose. Coach them. Tell them how they're going to win the game." And that's what he thought about last weekend at halftime of Florida State. Ultimately, they didn't win that game, but they had a chance.
And meanwhile, we've got a new quarterback, true freshman Ben Finley, in for Bailey Hockman, and they give him a couple of easy throws here to start the game. The last one was tonight, and this one is to a true freshman, Porter Rooks, and he has another first down for the Wolfpack into North Carolina territory. So Finley, a true freshman from Phoenix, Arizona. Older brother Ryan played for a long time at NC State, now currently with the Bengals. From the UNC 49. Knight able to break a tackle. Finally brought down by Gimmel after a pickup of 4.
Well, what you're looking for here is a little spark. They didn't have it with Hockman running the show, so they changed it up, and they have a lot of confidence in Finley. Said he is a cool customer along the gunslinger line, so they may let this kid unload the ball a little bit here to try and get him moving.
Don't know if it's an injury to Hockman or if he's been benched. Here's Finley rolling left, and the pass is caught. What a grab by Emeka Emezi, North Carolina State's best receiver. And they're inside the 30-yard line of UNC.
And let me tell you why that was even more important, Dave. When you bring in a backup, in this case a true freshman, you have to make plays around him. That is the way to make plays around him, as a nice hole opens up off the right side, and another nice big game. There's no doubt this offense has a little pep in their step, a little spark right now, both running the ball and throwing the ball. I love how not only did they bring a true freshman in, Dave, but they let him throw the ball around. They're not afraid to say, okay, start spinning it, son. Let's see what you can do.
A gain of 6 on that last pickup. Finley looks sharp early on here. First action for Finley this year. And the best drive by far for NC State. Person on 2nd and 4. And he is spun down at the point of attack by Day Hollins. It'll bring up 3rd down.
I love when we were talking to the coaches for North Carolina State. They said they try to rattle this kid every day. Finley, when he gets his reps in practice, they try and rattle him every day because he's young and to learn. Let me tell you what, though, you can't rattle somebody in practice because you're not allowed to hit the quarterback in practice. This will be a rattling here if he gets hit a few times.
Finley keeping it here on 3rd down, and he's got the 1st down near the 10-yard line. So they put it in the quarterback's hands, let him run the ball, and it'll be 1st and goal. NC State is perfect this year. 1st and goal, 11 for 11 scoring touchdowns.
So not only are they moving the ball well, got, as I said, a pep in their step, but they're not afraid to run quick plays here either.
Finley backs up here after faking the run, and the pass is incomplete, going for Kerry Angeline. But the quarterback, Ben Finley, looks awfully confident on this first drive. Catchable pass that looked like for Angeline, defended by Cameron Kelly, but we have a flag.
Penalty is 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Ineligible man downfield again. We're not at the stadium. Mike's in Bristol. I'm in Phoenix, so couldn't see a flag there, but penalty there on the Wolfpack.
Yeah, this is the first real negative for this drive for the offense. And I'm with you. I love the confidence they have in him. Again, they use the word gunslinger with this kid. He's not afraid to throw it. And right now, they're not afraid of making the calls to let him throw it. This is a first real adversity here of getting backed up a bit.
So we're being told it looks like Hockman's okay. So just a change of plans at the quarterback position for NC State. 1st and goal outside the 10-yard line after the penalty. Finley facing some pressure, going to a wide open receiver. It's picked off though, off the hands of the receiver and into the arms of Don Chapman for the pick. It was Dylan Parham that had a chance at an easy touchdown, but he couldn't hang on.
Oh, Dave, just as I was saying, make a play for your quarterback.
Ball's intercepted in the end zone, results in a touchback.
Make a play. This was an easy play. This is a ball right in his hands. Not only does he drop it, but he keeps it alive in the air. And a great recovery then by Chapman, because they blew the coverage here. That man was wide open. You're thinking that's 6. You keep running the ball, and there it is. Just hanging in the air for you for an easy interception for Chapman. That is a monster disappointment, Dave. But I guarantee on the sideline they're saying, hey, look at the drive we had. Oh, everything's okay. Defense got to go stop them. We drove the ball really well. We'll just have to do it again.
And maybe we found something at quarterback. You just saw their best receiver, Emeka Emezi, go over to Ben Finley, shake his head as if to say, okay, young man, keep doing what you did. But the drop by Parham leads to a turnover. From the Tar Heel 20-yard line, here's Carter with a big hole. Gain of about 6 as we go to Matt Berry in the studio.
Guys, I've got your Cars.com perfect match studio update, and I've got a tie ball game in Columbus with Nebraska and Ohio State. Dietrich Mills right up the gut right now, 14-14 midway through the second.
Everybody is back with the exception of the Pac-12. We're still a couple of weeks away from that. With Mike Golick, who's in Bristol, Marty Smith in Chapel Hill, Dave Pasch here in Arizona. 2nd and 3 for the Tar Heels on their 27-yard line. They give it to Carter and gets to the perimeter. Past the 40-yard line before he's run out by Jakeen Harris.
That is one of their bread and butter plays. Pulling a lineman, pulling a tight end. First lineman hooks. Tight end just blocks the next different color jersey he sees, and the back reads off of that. Sometimes that second blocker will kick out or run underneath. That time, took it to the outside. They love that play. Pull the tight end, pull the guard, and get some space for the back.
Howell keeps it here. And he slides to the defender. Harris came in for the hit, but I think he was trying to determine whether Howell was going to slide or not, so no penalty flag.
Yeah, and you know in today's game how they do it, Dave, they go on the safe side. I really thought they might have thrown a flag there. I'm glad they didn't. Again, as he slides, Harris comes over the top of him a little bit. I'm glad they kept the flag in their pocket on that one.
Yep, looked like Harris held up too.
Yep.
Could have laid him out with a forearm, but didn't. Devontae Williams is in now on 2nd down. He gets the call, and Williams has a first down inside the 40-yard line.
Again, excellent job by that big offensive line, pulling right up into the middle. Ed Montilus, the left guard, pulls around the center, follows up the hole. Great job by the left guard there, number 63.
110 yards on the ground already for North Carolina. Both Carter and Williams average over 100 yards per game. Al slings it to Simmons, making a beautiful move on the sideline. Boy, Simmons already with more catches today than he had all of his career. He's got a handful of grabs, and he's close to another first down.
You know, a guy getting a chance, a guy getting some extra reps. And they're taking advantage of it right now. He's taking advantage of it, and they're still taking advantage of that soft coverage on the outside.
Second and 2 at the NC State 31. Williams easily gets the first down and more. Stepped out of bounds, but not much resistance by North Carolina State against that UNC rushing attack.
I'm really surprised at this, Dave. This North Carolina State defense, I think, has played so much better, and they've been aggressive, and they're just giving up the outside now in these runs, outside on the passes.
It is a warm day in Chapel Hill, we're told. Around 75 degrees. It was 25 in Minneapolis for game day, so when they switched it to us, the temperature went up 50 degrees. First down to the 19-yard line. It's Carter's turn. And again, way too much given up by that run defense. About 7 yards on the ground.
Well, as I said, it just keeps you as a defense in a reactive mode. And you see Peyton Wilson is just, he is not okay. We've already seen him miss a little bit of time. You see him limping a little bit. He's already been in the injury tent once. And he is their hitter on the defense. It's an excellent linebacking crew, but he is the man that is going to lay the hit. They're going to need him on the field if he can. We'll see when we get back.
Remember that National Vote Early Day is October 24th. For more information, visit IamAvoter.com.
North Carolina has totally dominated NC State here in the first half. The Tar Heels have had 7 run plays of 10 yards or more alone here, and we're midway through the first half. NC State had a chance to make it 14-7 with true freshman quarterback Ben Finley, but a drop touchdown that led to an interception. The Tar Heels storm right back down the field, have a 2nd and 5 on the NC State 14. Howell, who already has a rushing touchdown, keeping it here, and he's pinned at the 11-yard line by Josh Pierre-Louis.
So who makes that play? Somebody on that North Carolina State defense got to make the play. Peyton Wilson was out the last play. He's in, the linebacker. He's back in now on this play. 3rd and short. This is big if you can hold him to a field goal attempt here.
Almost feel like they have to at this point.
I know there's a little bit of confidence on that North Carolina State side because of what that drive the offense just had.
Javonte Williams is in on 3rd down and 2. He'll get it, lowers his helmet, and powers through the arm tackle to get the 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal. Daniel Joseph tried to bring him down with an arm tackle. Not going to happen against 220-pound Javonte Williams.
No, this is when you see Williams at short yardage plays right around the goal line. The bigger of the two between him and Michael Carter. But again, that massive offensive line is doing a nice job when they have to lay their bodies or when they're pulling and blocking in space.
10th play of this drive for the Tar Heels. Williams again. Down to the 5-yard line. Pushed back by Harris. 2nd and goal.
Gain of 3 on the play.
This is when that I've been in this situation on that defensive side. You got one of your stars limping around, looking a little tired as well. Someone who steps up to make that play. You're looking across at an offense that has been rolling pretty well on you.
They have been able to force some turnovers this year. They have 6 interceptions, 7th in the country, but I don't even know if North Carolina is going to throw the ball here. 2nd and goal. They give it to Williams, and that's well done at the point of attack by the nose guard, Aleem McNeil, along with Isaiah Moore.
Yeah, that's 2 of your bigger players of the handful of players who are the stars on that defense. There's 2 of them. Number 29 and number 1, Isaiah Moore. Number 1 is a big number given out by Dave Doran, the coach, too. They look at that top player, and Isaiah Moore is the man wearing that, the captain. Real nice play in the middle there. One more time that North Carolina State defense needs to hold to a field goal to try and keep this game from getting away.
NC State has struggled on 3rd down today, despite being one of the best in that category coming in. Trying to keep it within reach here. Down 14-0, and knowing that it looks like a true freshman quarterback's going to go the rest of the way. Can they come up with a stop here on 3rd and goal from the 5 for North Carolina? And Howell to throw. Facing pressure. Howell throws to the end zone, overshoots the intended receiver, Simmons, and it's 4th down.
Huge stop, big pressure by Drake Thomas, number 32, one of the linebackers. Those 3 we've talked about. Bringing pressure, good time to bring pressure. You see him from the left side, coming up, making a nice move on the tight end, Kamari Morales. Gets around him, forces the quarterback outside to make that high throw. Too far, out and away. Great stop by North Carolina State.
So Grayson Atkins will come on for a short field goal attempt. He's 2 for 4 on the season.
Wow.
And he missed it. He's missed more than he's made now on the year, and it remains 14-0.
Wow, that was just the snap and hold all looked good. We'll see it here. Yeah, the snap was there. The hold looked good, and that was. Here you go. Let's see. Snap, hold. Good snap. No laces. That's just a yank right there. Wow.
And it hit the outside of that left upright.
So, Dave, here's that North Carolina State offense. They just had a good drive. Defense, while they're bending, they didn't break there. And they get fortunate with the missed field goal. Let's see what young Mr. Finley can do, the true freshman, Ben Finley, in the game.
Came in for Bailey Hockman, who was replaced. They got into a goal-to-goal situation, but a drop pass that led to a pick. Out in space to Thayer Thomas. Driven to the ground near the 30-yard line. NC State with 3 minutes to go, 2 timeouts remaining, trailing 14-0.
And that'll be the job, I'm sure, the coach is telling Finley, get the ball out to your playmakers. Quick passes, that time, let Thayer Thomas, let those guys make the plays.
Finley to throw again, dumps it off here to Person. And out past the 35, the ball came out, but Person was down. And he was hurt earlier and shaken up again. Tackle made by Chaz Surratt. 1st down.
The clock will start.
Let's check in with Matt Berry in the studio while we have a moment.
All right, guys, coming up on the Lexus halftime report, Clemson kind of getting the game from Syracuse early on. We'll check in on that, plus Ohio State in one against Nebraska. We'll talk the big one tonight in the Big Ten, Michigan and Minnesota. Jess Palmer, Joey Galloway, join me coming up at the half.
Mike, who do you think the biggest challenger is to Ohio State in the Big Ten this year?
Well, I think we can find out next week with Penn State. Penn State, Ohio State matchup next week. Wisconsin as well. Wisconsin does not play Ohio State. The two ranked teams right now, again, ranked, they're just playing now, is Penn State. They play them next week, and then it will be the last game, Michigan, for Ohio State. But Wisconsin took care of business last night. I would say it'd be one of those, and we'll find out, obviously, next week, at least in the regular season, with Penn State and Ohio State.
We got Minnesota, Michigan tonight. Both ranked as we look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Allstate. Taking a look at the top 10. Penn State is 8th. It plays at Indiana later today. Nebraska hanging around with Ohio State right now. 17-14, the Buckeyes in front. And as Mike mentioned, an impressive showing by Graham Mertz. Not since Russell Wilson, who, of course, started his college football career at NC State before transferring to Wisconsin, have we seen a Badger quarterback have the accuracy that we saw last night. Just one incompletion for Mertz. Meanwhile, Person is still down.
Looks like they're bringing up the stretcher here for him. Again, we hope it's just all, a precautionary to do that. Try and not have him a lot of movement so they can get him on that backboard.
Oh, man. Person, a junior from Wake Forest, North Carolina, has battled some injuries over the course of his career. Missed 5 games last year, 4 2 years ago. And NC State, I don't think any team has dealt with more injury issues the last 2 years than NC State.
Sure have, without question. Let's take a look again. Running the ball. Takes a shot there right to the side, and then, he's
holding his hand there.
I don't know if it's hand. So
is it here? Chaz Surratt hits him. It didn't look like that North Carolina secondary defender hit him in the helmet with his knee accidentally. So I don't know if it was on the hit by Surratt or when Person hit the ground.
Yeah, so tough to tell. And again, any inkling of anything wrong, they're going to stay on the side of safety here. They brought the board out. Now, we don't know if they're using it or not, but he's sitting up now, so that's a great sign. Well, obviously, Marty Smith, who is there, the only one of us that is there, will try and get us the info as best we can. Okay, this is a great sign. All right, fantastic, up and moving.
Yep.
That's sometimes you see unbelievably hard hits where a guy just pops up, and sometimes you see hits like we didn't really see anything out of the ordinary in that hit, and there was a couple of tense moments there. So, but that right there is a great sign to see him going off under his own power.
Meanwhile, NC State is moving the ball again in this drive with true freshman quarterback Ben Finley, younger brother of former NC State quarterback Ryan, who played from 2016 to 2018 with NC State, now in the NFL. And they have 2 timeouts all around their 35-yard line. As you look at Person going back to the NC State locker room. So it'll be Bam Knight. Actually averages more yards per game than Person. In the game at running back next to Finley. Finley throwing it to Knight. Able to slip a tackle. Knocked out of bounds by Holland.
We were watching, Dave. We were watching Finley on the sideline. He was jumping around. Teammates were coming up and talked to him. He was very animated. He's someone that knows he's in the game and believes he's ready to play and is not afraid to whip it out there. And right now, I think it's great play calling. As I said, quicker passes to the playmakers, let them do their thing. Eventually, he's going to have to take it downfield.
Finley stepping back here and dumps it off to Angeline. Talented tight end, a transfer from USC, who's got 5 touchdown passes this year. Only Kyle Pitts at Florida has more among college football tight ends. And third down coming up here for the Wolfpack.
That's a nice big target for you at 6'7", 250. That's for sure. That's a great bailout guy.
Finley overshoots the receiver. There was some contact, but perhaps the receiver just fell down. Tyler McMichael tangled up with C.J. Riley, the intended target.
Yeah, can't throw a flag there. Feet get tangled up. You let that one go. I know he's complaining about it. Would have liked the flag, but you're just going to see the feet lie. Just trips over the feet. You can't make a call there. And that's what I said. You know, eventually there's going to have to be some throws downfield. Don't know where that one would have ended up if the receiver and the defender's feet didn't tangle up.
So second down and 10 at the NC State 46-yard line. Finley hits a Mezzi out in space into Carolina territory, close to a first down, appears to have it at the 43.
And they'll keep moving quick. And what I like about that, Davis, I like where he put the ball. The receiver catches it and goes right into his stride. I think he's throwing a very, very catchable ball. It may seem like a little thing, but when you see a back swinging out or a receiver catching the ball on like a hitch, where is that ball placement? How quickly can they turn and run to gain some yards? He's putting the ball in nice places.
Clock stop there to reset the chains on the first down. They go back to Knight here with the run game. Thrown down at the 41-yard line by Tomari Fox, North Carolina's best defensive lineman. It's a 2-yard gain. Keep in mind for NC State, this is the third quarterback who's played in the last 4 quarters. Devin Leary broke his leg last week. Bailey Hockman started this game, and now Finley is in. And Finley throws that pass out in front of Thayer Thomas, incomplete. Third down and 8.
Yeah, that was a miscommunication there. They're, you know, obviously they already run that hurry-up offense. They're doing it now. We have a minute left in the half. 2 timeouts, though, so plenty of time. But boy, a lot on the true freshman's plate. Finley, an excellent last drive as we take a look at Hockman, who's been benched at this point. Nice drive last time, and now a nice drive here. And now you add the 2-minute drive element to it as well.
Jordan Houston is in the game at running back, helping protect. Finley's pass caught for a first down, and Emeka Emezi inside the 10. Touchdown, NC State. Emezi's 3rd of the season. And how about true freshman Ben Finley?
What an excellent job. You saw North Carolina faking pressure, and because their linebackers were up there faking pressure, they didn't get to as deep as they wanted in their drop zones. Or they got this from starting at the line of scrimmage instead from the normal linebacking position, and Finley just fired it right over where they would have been to a receiver who had to step on to the inside of the defender and did the rest. Excellent job.
Give Dave Dorn credit, too, as the point after is good, for making the decision early in the game to go with Finley instead of Hockman. It paid off.
We already talked about his enthusiasm on the sideline. You see the defenders up, and as they're dropping back, they can't get back deep enough. The ball over their head into Emezi, who's got the inside route. Look at the youngster. He's having a ball out there. A game that could have gotten away from North Carolina State is now just a 1-score game, thanks a lot in part to a true freshman.
We noticed, too, after that last drive that was an interception that should have been a touchdown. Yes. It should be a tie game right now. Emeka Emezi, the best receiver for NC State, went right over to Ben Finley, was shaking his head up and down as if to say, that was good. I saw what you did. Let's keep it up. We can get this thing rolling now. They have 141 yards of offense since Finley came in the game. 34 in their first 3 drives combined with Hockman at the helm. Michael Carter is deep here, but it will be a touchback and will come out to the 25.
Noticeable difference in energy and passion here on the NC State sideline, guys. Finley came off the field and just got mauled by every single player on the sideline. And Emezi came running off the field, jumped in his arms. They were extremely, extremely fired up. And the first thing Finley did was walk over to his offensive line, high-five every one of those, and the smile on his face is just infectious. You can see how much fun he's having. He's over here dancing. I mean, I want to be 18 again. He does have a really nice mop of red hair that I could maybe pull off.
54 seconds left. All timeouts remain. The pass is caught along the sideline. De'Ami Brown pulls in a beautiful throw by Sam Howell. The Tar Heels have plenty of time here to get some points before halftime.
Well, because neither of these quarterbacks of age, I'll say Sam Howell is just saying, "Hold my soda," you know. While I, you did that, I'm gonna go down the other way. I got all 3 of my timeouts in 50 seconds.
26 yards to the 49 of NC State. And a draw play, and Carter able to break a couple tackles, close to a first down. 40 seconds to go.
I love watching these two running backs, Carter and Williams. You think they're down, and they're just not.
2nd down and 1, so the clock moving. They elect not to use the timeout. Little surprise there. Howell's pass incomplete, so now the clock will stop, but they wasted about 15 seconds. You had 3 timeouts. Thought they should have burned one.
Completely 1,000% agree, Dave. You got 3 timeouts. Can't take them home with you. I mean, that would have been, you could have saved yourself 8-10 seconds right there.
Trying to get the field goal range here, but you had enough to move the ball down the field and maybe get a touchdown. Well, 3rd down and 1 on the 40. Their kicker just missed a 22-yard field goal. Keep that in mind. So forget that field goal target line right here.
How about
it doesn't matter after the miss for 22 yards. Here's Williams as they run the ball, and he's able to get the first down. The clock will stop as they reset the chains. 16 seconds to go, but they may call a timeout anyway.
Got to call a timeout here, yeah.
All right, so with a timeout on the field in Chapel Hill, we'll be back in 10 seconds. There's the hold your soda you were talking about with Sam Howell. But Dave Doran's defense looking to step up big here. Carolina gets the ball to start the second half. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, they do. So they'd like to at least have be in a position to get some points here and then come back and get the ball. We'll see if wasting that 8 to 10 seconds is going to cost them here at all. They should, you would think, at least be able to get in decent field goal range. Who knows? Maybe Atkins likes the ball a little further back.
16 seconds on the clock. Please reset the game clock to 16 seconds, please.
They're taking 2 more seconds off the clock.
Yeah, Mike, I thought it was at 16 when they called the timeout. They put it back at 18, but they'll change it. Grayson Atkins long this year is 35. He is 2 for 5 on the year, including that miss on the last possession. Still 2 timeouts left for the Tar Heels. Pressure up the middle. Howell's pass is caught by Carter for a first down. Clock is at 10 seconds. We'll see if the Tar Heels use their second timeout.
Have to.
Timeout. North Carolina. Second
and it would be about a 40-yard field goal try from here.
So still with that timeout, what you have is you still have the entire field to use. Whether you're going to go to the end zone, maybe give that a shot. If you do, you're going to have to do it pretty quickly with 10 seconds, just so you don't have the time run off.
So we got Big Ten games going on right now. Ohio State, Nebraska tonight on ABC. The Little Brown Jug will be at stake as 2 ranked teams square off. Minnesota hosting Michigan. Temperature in the 20s right now. Can only imagine what it's going to be tonight. 7:30 Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app.
The one thing Sam Howell can't do here is what he did in one of the previous drives when he just ran around behind the line of scrimmage and didn't throw the ball away. That can't happen. If you don't have it, get rid of it.
About a 40-yard field goal attempt from here. As Howell steps up, does get rid of it, throws it into the end zone. He had a receiver. Boy, Carter was wide open, but Howell overshoots him. 4 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, I think Howell thought about running for a moment and then saw Carter break open, and then he just overthrew him. Even that one, there's no way Carter would have got that. He would have been out of bounds. So that one's on Sam right there as he get ready to try a 40-yard field goal.
Grayson Atkins has missed twice from 40 yards or longer this year. Let's see if the young man can redeem himself here after missing a 22-yarder earlier. NC State going to call a timeout. You knew that was coming to freeze the kicker.
North Carolina State, third, final charge timeout. The timeout will be 30 seconds.
Now we're about half hour away from UFC 254 action on ESPN Plus. Live from Fight Island, Habib Nurmagomedov against Justin Gaethje.
So in this one, you have Nurmagomedov, who at 8 years old, as you said, where were his parents? He was wrestling a bear. I mean, seriously. I mean, I know it's not a wild bear, I get it, but it's a bear. It's an 8-year-old wrestling a bear. So Khabib is 28-0. He's going to fight Gaethje. I think he's going to win to go to 29-0. And then Dana White has said he's going to let Nurmagomedov pick his last opponent because he believes he's going to retire after that at 30-0. And I think he wants to select George St. Pierre, a Hall of Famer who's been around a long time, to possibly be the last fight. Obviously, he'll got to get through this fight, but I do think Khabib is going to win this fight.
I think the bear was wrestling him, actually, looking at the replay. 40-yard try here by Atkins, and he nails it. Well, good for him. Bouncing back from that ugly miss earlier. And North Carolina will take a 10-point lead into the locker room. But it seemed like it could have been a lot larger lead. But NC State went to its backup quarterback, Ben Finley, and everything changed. 17-7, Carolina in this rivalry game. Now Matt Berry in the studio. Welcome back to college football on ESPN, presented by Geico, in the 110th meeting between North Carolina and North Carolina State. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Looked like North Carolina was going to run NC State out of town early on, but a missed field goal by the Tar Heels, a touchdown by NC State, and it's just a 10-point lead for number 14 against number 23 in Chapel Hill. North Carolina will start on offense here in the third quarter. Michael Carter is the deep man, and he'll run it back up to the 25. Moments ago, Marty Smith spoke with Mack Brown.
Coach, what did you like that you guys did, and what do you wish you guys had done better?
I like we kept the ball. I like we were very physical. I don't like the fact that we gave back 10 points on offense. We had the holding penalty down here, and we missed the field goal. I don't like the fact that when the young quarterback came in for them, we let them get excited and get some momentum. And I hate the fact that we gave up the touchdown with 5 minutes left in the half. That's not smart of us, not good of us. We did a very poor job. I like the fact that we responded with the field goal. It's important that we come out and get something the first 5 minutes of the second half.
Appreciate you, Coach. Thank you.
And on the first play, they'll run Javonte Williams. And he gets a first down, dragging a defender out to the 37-yard line for 12 yards on the first play of the second half.
And you just heard him say it's important to get something here in the first 5 minutes. And really this first drive, Dave, you think about how that first half ended. Really, it should have been 2 touchdowns by North Carolina State. But NC State does hold them. North Carolina does get the field goal at the end of the half. So how big is this? North Carolina State has got to step up and make a stop here and give who their true freshman that has gone in the game, Ben Finley, the chance, because he's been hot. But North Carolina, if they could settle themselves down now, they just got to score before half, try and drive down and get a score here. I can't tell you how important coming out that first drive of the third quarter always is after you make those adjustments at halftime.
Good play by NC State up front there in first down with Terrell Dawkins making a tackle on Williams. Now Carter is in the game at running back. UNC has rushed for over 150 yards on the game. Play action for Howe. Taking a shot down the field, single coverage, and it's well defended. Yami Brown with Malik Dunlap in coverage. Third down and 10. And a matchup of one-loss teams. Again, no divisions this year in the ACC. Notre Dame is eligible for the ACC championship game, so you got to finish in the top 2. as good as Notre Dame and Clemson are, this could be an elimination game here between the Heels and the Pack.
Without a doubt, neither North Carolina State nor North Carolina plays Clemson this year. North Carolina does play Notre Dame this year, so I agree. This could definitely be an elimination game.
On 3rd down and 10, Howell facing pressure, and Howell is sacked back at the 28-yard line by Daniel Joseph. Great start defensively for NC State. Pressure initially by Peyton Wilson, who was banged up a lot in that first half.
You saw one of the first drives pressure with a 3-man rush, but now North Carolina State has been bringing extra pressure. We see a linebacker come there. We see a cornerback coming there, trying to make Howell make these quicker decisions and getting the pressure, getting the sack. Huge job getting off the field for NC State.
Then Kiernan to punt for UNC. Thayer Thomas is deep for the Wolfpack. Makes the first man miss. Breaks another tackle and brought down at the 30-yard line. Take a look at today's player spotlight, brought to you by Taco Bell. Ben Finley, true freshman quarterback. Gabe Doran said yesterday, hey, he's ready if called upon. Bailey Hockman started the game, was ineffective, so they went to the true freshman. Mike, you talked about how he led him down the field. Should have been a touchdown pass. Instead, it was picked off after Parham couldn't bring it in. But then Finley did come back with a touchdown pass to Emezi.
For a true freshman, he has taken over this offense, has the backing of all the players. He's showing incredible confidence right now.
He's from Phoenix, Arizona. Older brother Ryan played for NC State, now in the National Football League. A swing pass out of the backfield tonight. And he drags Surratt all the way to the 34-yard line. Good play there on 1st down.
And we talked about the enthusiasm, Dave, that he shows on the sidelines, how the receivers ran to him after that first drive, and after the touchdown, how Marty Smith told us he went to the offensive line and dapped all of them up. You know, it's infectious right now.
Here's Rooks out across the 35 and to the 37-yard line. Going to bring up 3rd down here for NC State.
Guys, we won't see running back Ricky Person again. The team tells me it was a concussion. He does feel good. He remembers everything, but they're taking him right now to be x-rayed further. I just looked at him, gave him a thumbs up, and he gave me a thumbs up back. So he seems okay, but they are going to go check him out a little bit further.
Okay, thank you, Marty. Flag is down on that design quarterback run by Finley, so it'll be Bam Knight and Jordan Houston.
Defense number 15. 5-yard penalty. The penalty results in a 1st down.
So defensive penalty on Hollins for being in the neutral zone, a 1st down for NC State.
So we'll see how NC State mixes it up, whether it's a run or those quick passes, but I just had that feeling Finley is just itching to whip one downfield.
1st down at the 42-yard line. Instead, a run play to Knight, and he's got some room. Knight still going up to midfield, diving close to the 1st down at the 49-yard line. Sophomore from Bailey, North Carolina, Bam Knight, who averages 6 yards a carry, got about 9 there.
Oh, the left tackle, Laquana, what a block. He absolutely destroys Jeremiah Gimmel. I mean, just lays him out.
Another run play here. Knight able to get the 1st down to the 46.
Talked about the bread and butter play for North Carolina, pulling a tight end and a guard. Well, for North Carolina State, they pull their center and their big tackle there on either side. Those are their bread and butter plays as well. And that one was effective.
Finley to throw here. Another short pass out of the backfield. Houston driven to the turf by Gimmel after a gain of 1.
So as I said, we're seeing runs, we're seeing quick passes to the outside. You know it's going to be coming down the middle pretty soon on a throw. But I really am impressed with the play calling right now. This quarterback already had some confidence, but it's building.
Finley to throw again, and that pass is tipped, and another interception, this time by Surratt. 2 deflected interceptions thrown by Ben Finley.
2 interceptions, both on tipped passes. One was tipped by his own teammate, And this one tipped by a defender. They're seeing the quicker passes coming. They're getting their hands in the air, and that's just like a punt coming down. Easy pick for North Carolina. They maintain their 10-point lead.
Tyrone Hopper deflects it. Surratt intercepts it, gets the belt. 2 takeaways coming into today for North Carolina. 2 interceptions in this game for the Tar Heels. And now the UNC offense takes over at the 40-yard line, leading by 10. Another NC State drive comes to an end with a giveaway. Running to the right is Carter. And a gain of about 6 before he's brought down by Jakeen Harris. Don't forget, Habib Nurmagomedov coming up against Justin the Highlight Gaethje over on ESPN Plus. UFC 254 main event live from Fight Island.
Gaethje had been a brawler for a lot of his career, but more of a violent tactician now as well. Wrestling, though, as far as on the mat, that's all Khabib. He is, I think, second most takedowns in UFC history. So you want to get on the mat with him.
Howell hands it off to Javonte Williams, breaking another tackle inside the 40-yard line of NC State and pushed out of bounds near the 30. A penalty marker is down. Boy, Williams, who breaks more tackles than anybody in the country, has shed about 8 or 9 different tackle attempts in this game by the Wolfpack. But it's coming back, a holding call.
Yeah, coming back, holding. But to your point, and to the exact number coming into this game, he has broken 29.2% of tackles. That's number 1. That's number 1 in the country.
Holding offense number 1, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. The ball still remains beyond the line to gain. First down.
Happened downfield on a receiver, Joffrey Brown.
Yeah, right at the bottom of the screen there off our vision. We didn't see it. There you go, number 1. Yeah, as soon as you get that hand extended out, got cloth in your hand as the defender's trying to pull away. Ref sees that easily.
Howell has a rushing touchdown. Looking deep here, got a receiver, caught at the 20. Michael Carter, who's a pretty good receiver out of the backfield with a big play. 30 yards.
And while we've talked about Carter and Williams, the running backs, they both have really wanted to and have up to their receiving games as well. And a lot of these players think about the next level. The next level, you've got to be able to do both. Run, catch, and pick up blitzes. And these backs are starting to really get great at all 3 of those phases.
Out to the air again. Pass end zone wide open is Josh Downs, the true freshman with a touchdown.
Now this is nothing but a blown coverage there. See the defender letting him go, thinking someone else is picking him up. That's Joshua Pierre-Louis, a true freshman in there. You see the mistake, you see the wide open player to another true freshman, as you mentioned, Josh Downs, an early enrollee, 4-star, ranked 94th in the nation, coming into college.
And boy, that's a 14-point swing there, potentially, with the way NC State was driving. And a turnover in UNC territory as Daniel Joseph is shaken up. And then the Tar Heels come down and score with Sam Howell getting his first touchdown pass of the day. Atkins, who missed a short field goal but also made one at the end of the first half to stretch the lead from 7 to 10, is on to try to make it now a 17-point game. North Carolina in command of this one in Chapel Hill, up 17 on NC State.
ESPN College Football, presented by Geico, is brought to you by Marathon, fueling the American spirit, and Allstate. You've never been in better hands.
It only happened 3 times in 110 meetings. Both teams in the top 25 in North Carolina and North Carolina State go toe-to-toe. Right now, the Tar Heels, they look like they're the ones that belong as a ranked team. NC State struggling down 17 and having to go to a true freshman quarterback. Jordan Houston is deep here, him kicking off. This will be a touchback. We take a look at today's more driven moment, brought to you by Goodyear.
Well, on this touchdown, what you're going to see is single high up here. This is where they're going to be locked up here because they're locked up down here as well. But as the play progresses and he breaks outside, we get a freeze. This corner now lets him go, thinking he's got help over the top, but he's got to be the one on him. And that's a true freshman. Making that mistake there and just turn around and look and just do nothing but say, uh-oh, or maybe something worse, I don't know. Easy touchdown for North Carolina.
Well, mental error defensively. We've seen some physical errors offensively. Drop passes by NC State. One that was in the end zone led to a pick. Now Finley in trouble here, backing up and just throws it away. Hard to tell if he was outside the pocket or if there was a receiver in the area, but does not appear to be a flag for grounding. Again, I'm in Arizona. Mike is in Bristol. Marty Smith in Chapel Hill for this one.
We're probably going to start to see here, Dave, as it's now, you know, the score pulling away for North Carolina at 24-7. More passing. You may see North Carolina pinning the ears back a little more.
They bring 5 here on a run play to Knight. And Knight is past the 30. It's about 7 yards, so they'll be in third and manageable. Like that Don Chapman, who had an interception earlier in the game, was shaken up on that play for UNC.
Yeah, Chapman with the injuries is a safety that could play corner as well. Quick snap here to get the first. Oh, what a great job. Great job pulling him offside.
Yes, a rat. Roaring into the backfield.
Offside. Defense number 21. 5-yard penalty. Result of the penalty is a first down.
Maybe, Dave, maybe he ran into the backfield because he was used to being on the other side of the ball. What a story he is, Chaz Surratt. I mean, not a great play to talk about there, but he was a quarterback when he got to North Carolina. Just became a linebacker for the season last year. Led the team in tackles with 115. Quarterback to linebacker. Incredible.
Got a brother, Sage, who played at Wake Forest but opted out. Expected to be a high draft pick. Finley to throw on first down, and it's incomplete. He was going for C.J. Riley with Hollins in coverage.
Yeah, Day Hollins with good coverage. Finley, again, he's going to have to start going down the field there. So now we'll see what the true freshman can do, trying to put the ball on the money downfield. That one was behind the receiver, and Hollins had good coverage to boot.
NC State has won 3 in a row here in Chapel Hill, but down 17 midway through the third. Finley to Knight out of the backfield. And Knight has his forward progress stopped about 3 yards short of the line to gain, bringing up third down.
Good play, makes it third manageable here. Third and just 3. You always want it. What you're thinking about here is always having your young quarterback in the best situation possible. Even though you're down a ton of points, still you can't have it, bring it all back in one play.
They're 2 of 5 on third down today. Tim Beck is the offensive coordinator for NC State, first year. He had been at Texas, also coached Bo Pelini at Nebraska, Urban Meyer at Ohio State. And the NC State offense down to its third quarterback now. Finley on 3rd and 3, leaving the pocket in trouble. And Finley just throws it away. See if NC State goes for it on 4th and 3. Some pressure applied by Tyrone Hopper for UNC.
7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Down a bunch.
What do you do, Mike?
I mean, I can't blame him a bit for going for it here. I mean, it's short enough, it's manageable. There's certainly a number of plays you can run here to get it. Now, they may be just trying to get him to jump. We'll see if they actually run a play here or not.
Well, the way NC State's defense has played,
yeah,
it feels like they have to go for this. It's going to be a quick kick, though.
Yep.
And Finley does an excellent job. NC State will be able to down that inside the 1-yard line.
Wow.
Great job on the quick kick. North Carolina backed up. Tomorrow on Sunday, NFL Countdown, the art of the stiff arm. Derrick Henry trying to run through the undefeated Pittsburgh defense, while Sam and the guys celebrating National Tight Ends Day with some help from George Kittle and Antonio Brown, a Buccaneer. Mike?
Oh boy. We'll get into that after this play.
Yeah, with them backed up here at their 1-yard line after that excellent quick kick by the quarterback. Javonte Williams able to give him some breathing room and more up past the 20-yard line. Finally dragged down at the 25.
Well, let's forget about Antonio Brown for a bit because that was a great chance for North Carolina State to try and keep pinned in. And there's that running game, 11th best in the country. And there's that running back who knows how to break tackles extremely well. Javonte Williams gets him a whole lot of breathing room.
I mean, that's the story of the day. NC State defense can't stop the run. So first down to the Carolina 25 with Carter in the game now. At running back. He rushed for almost 200 yards. Carter brought down after a 1-yard gain. All right, give me your Antonio Brown.
So Antonio Brown, it's not shocking he was going to sign. He's suspended until next weekend, week 8. But you want to sign him now because as soon as you sign him, he has to be in COVID kind of, inside that for 5 days before he can really join the team. So you want him to be able to play by week 9. You sign him and get him in there. And as far as him signing, it had to be with we heard about Seattle, and Pete Carroll in Baltimore with John Harbaugh, and now Bruce Arians in Tampa Bay where he goes. It had to be a coach, and I'll finish after this play.
Al steps up, eludes pressure, and throws a strike to De'Ami Brown for a first down.
It had to be a coach and a veteran team situation where if he acts up again or things aren't going well, you cut him. Because it's not going to be a huge deal. It's not going to be a big cap hit. So if he starts, doing Antonio Brown things that we've seen him do, unfortunately, because he's a great talent on the field, but if he starts acting up and it's hurting the team or not productive, you have to be with a team where the coach says, we're done with you, goodbye. And Bruce Arians would be that guy if it got to that situation.
Play action here for Howell. In trouble. And Howell throws it away. I think you're right, Mike, with Brady there and, more important, Bruce Arians, who isn't going to put up with any nonsense. If there is an issue with Antonio Brown, you're going to have a lot of guys holding him accountable.
And by the way, Tom Brady was a big proponent to bring him to Tampa Bay. Remember, Tom had him in New England before that went south there. And you have some great veterans there. Obviously, Tom, Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski. And with Bruce Arians. So you either fit in and boy, oh boy, think about on the field if Antonio Brown is anywhere near what he is, what it could do for that offense.
Williams straight ahead, breaks more tackles. It is amazing how this guy, he never goes down on first contact. Now he's big at 220 pounds, but it is amazing.
You know what I think he does so well, Dave, is he has great balance, number one. And again, shoulder tackling is not going to do it. And he kind of is able to give with the hit, to kind of give with his body. He absorbs a blow, gives a little bit, and has great balance to stay on his feet. It is really amazing. 11 broken tackles today. And again, he's already has the highest percentage of breaking tackles in the country. He's just showing off now. He's just padding his lead.
He's one of 2 players coming into today with 400 rushing yards and 200 receiving yards. Travis Etienne, the other from Clemson, as Peyton Wilson's on the NC State sideline. The other thing about Williams is he was not highly recruited coming out of Wallace, North Carolina. His only original offer was East Carolina. He's a great student, valedictorian in high school, but not known for football. That's a name to keep an eye on here this year and beyond. Got 127 yards on the day. Howell fakes it to him here. His pass is broken up, incomplete. Shaheem Battle makes the play there defensively.
We've seen Battle make a couple of those plays today, breaking on the quick out routes, forcing a 2nd and 10. But yeah, this 1-2 duo of Carter and Williams coming into the game, just, I believe, 6 carries separating the two. So they really do split time. And Mac Brown leaves it up to the running back coach to make the decision on who's going in when.
Williams just under 1,000 yards last year. Definitely over 1,000 this year when it's all said and done. Howell's pass is dropped and almost picked off on the redirection by Harris. Walston couldn't hang on. Harris diving for it, unable to come up with it.
Oh, we have seen North Carolina come up with 2 tip pass interceptions, and here's NC State's chance to do the same thing. Jakeem Harris can't quite catch it. He's got to make that play. He's considered the quarterback of that defense, a guy who was ejected last week for targeting in their win. But that is a play, especially when you're down 17 points. You need a big play. That's one, boy, you got to have.
3rd down and 10 now for North Carolina. Pressure off the edge. Out moving away from it. And the pass is incomplete. There is a flag down. He was going for Simmons, and again, you had Battle covering him. There were the penalties about here.
Defense number 25.
Wow.
15-yard penalty. First down.
I just was talking. He's made a couple of excellent plays on the outside. So here's the roll right.
The penalty will be a first down at the spot of the foul.
Not a great throw.
No,
it didn't get tipped, it appeared.
Not a great throw. I thought it was the way that the ball looked. I thought it may have been tipped.
And if that would have been the case, there would not have been interference on a tip pass at the line, but just an awkward-looking duck. Rare one by Sam Howell. So fresh set of downs at the NC State 42. Carter. Another Carolina first down. Let's get an update on Syracuse Clemson with Matt Berry.
Yeah, guys, not sure what's going on. Rex Culpepper to Nakeem Johnson. Clemson a 48-point favorite in this one. It is now 27-21. Syracuse with the ball back.
You almost knew that this was coming, right? I mean, Clemson had to.
When you're that good at blowing teams out, you know there's going to be a letdown. You have a younger team now, a lot of young guys playing. It definitely can happen.
Syracuse got beat by Liberty. Throws 400 yards in the first half against Georgia. Carter with another good run for the Tar Heels. Syracuse got the ball back, down 6. Syracuse upset Clemson a few years back. Now Syracuse was much better then. Peyton Wilson back on the field for that play for NC State.
Yeah,
battling through injury today.
Yeah, he's been on and off. I believe that right knee's had the brace on it.
Tough to get him to the sideline despite how much he's hurt. Just absolutely loves the game. Brother Bryce pitching in the World Series, or at least the LCS for the Braves. Lost to the Dodgers though. As Howell's pass over the middle is caught down to the 1-yard line. De'Ami Brown with Dunlap all over him. That was a great throw.
Up at the top of the screen, that was a nice throw because that was pretty good coverage by Dunlap. De'Ami Brown's got the inside, so that's exactly where the ball needs to be. And it is up high. Either Brown's getting that or nobody's getting that. And he goes up and just snags it out of the air. Excellent job.
7 catches, over 100 yards on the day for De'Ami Brown.
Timeout. North Carolina State.
NC State calls a timeout with this game about to be blown open here by the Heels. All right, time now for our Aflac trivia question. Mac Brown, one of 5 current FBS head coaches to coach at the same school for multiple stints on a permanent basis, so no interim. Can you name the other 4, Mike Golick?
Seriously, I'm way better at multiple choice. Why can't we have the Aflac trivia question be multiple choice?
Because we have to put like 15 guys up there.
Well,
you got 4 more you got to.
Listen, modern technology can do that. I was so good. I mean, and then if you're struggling, obviously, it's C, you know, for multiple choice. But here, I got to, like, show my work.
All right, well, one we mentioned earlier from a highlight that Matt showed us in a Big Ten game. There's a hint.
My head hurts.
It's a program that has never been good except when this guy was coaching them. All right, think on that. They run on 1st and goal, and Javonte Williams is in for another North Carolina touchdown.
This one definitely getting away from NC State. North Carolina just wearing them down. I mean, and really with the run. That's been what's been doing it without question. Here on the goal line, again, I talked about the size of that O-line, just leaning on the D-line, getting the payoff.
So 3rd rushing touchdown today for North Carolina by the 3rd different guy, Howell, Carter, and Williams. And it's 31-7 North Carolina.
Look at that, 11 plays.
99-yard drive.
Wow, I mean, and play one got him off, to the what, 25 yard line. So they were out of, it looked like North Carolina State, maybe that was kind of their last chance to see if they could get a stop, see if they could turn this thing around a little bit. North Carolina said, not today.
All right, let's answer the Affleck trivia question. Mac Brown, one of 5 current FBS head coaches at the same school, multiple stints on a permanent basis. Greg Schiano is who was talking about when he was at Rutgers the first time. Gary Anderson, Brady Hoke, Randy Edsel, the others.
I was so close to getting absolutely none of those, Dave.
Even with the Schiano hint, that
I know.
wasn't enough.
Listen,
huh?
Yeah, you did. You gave me a great hint. I'm used to looking at other people's paper, and I didn't have one to look at. I'm just kidding. I didn't much.
You're talking about at Notre Dame or
nope.
now?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No. I don't even know what you're
Over the
talking
head of Houston. It'll be a touchback. And so good work here for Ben Finley, true freshman quarterback. Looks like it's going to be his show the rest of the season unless Devin Leary comes back from that broken leg.
Well, I think if nothing else, I have a feeling this man right here, the true freshman, Ben Finley, is going to get himself a number of games under his belt to see if and when Leary can come back to kind of see what he can do.
Finley in trouble in the backfield here and lost the ball. Was sacked by Surratt, coughed it up, and North Carolina comes up with the football. Desmond Evans getting the recovery.
Well, young man started out hot, started out with a lot of confidence, and then the game got to him a little bit. More importantly, North Carolina got to him a little bit. Chaz Surratt with the pressure there. He puts his right hand on the ball, trying to tackle him. And then the true freshman, Desmond Evans, gets the recovery.
Chaz Surratt has turned into such a good linebacker. You talked about it earlier, converted quarterback in his first year on defense. Runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC behind a guy who was picked in the top 10, Isaiah Simmons. And he was so good in high school on offense that he once held the North Carolina high school record for total offense. 1st and goal for the Tar Heels. And here's Howell on the run. His pass is caught for a touchdown. This one, Daz Newsome. There's a penalty marker down.
Now the official has his hat off, so he either ran so fast it fell off his head, or possibly someone went out of bounds, came back in, saying illegal. Yeah, illegal touching. So the receiver ran out of bounds, or was out of bounds, and came back in bounds and was the first person to touch the ball. That is illegal. That's when you usually see the referee without a cap. That's usually what happens. They throw their hat down so they know that someone ran out of bounds.
Unless he was pushed out, but apparently went out on his own. Oh, great play by Sam Howell, keeping that alive. Man, he's impressive.
So this will be on Daz Newsome, who coach is considered one of the best slot receivers in the country. Bottom part of your screen. See him right there. He steps out of bounds. Wasn't pushed out of bounds. Then the ball comes back to him. See the referee threw his hat. Great camera work there again.
2 fouls on the play. 3 by the offense. An eligible receiver downfield. Number 15. He was covered by a wide receiver. Illegal touching. Number 25. The offense, he went out of bounds. Came back in bounds and was the first to touch the ball. The ineligible receiver downfield will be declined. The illegal touching will be accepted. That penalty is a loss of down at the previous spot. 2nd down.
Okay, he got 2 numbers wrong. Number 15 is hurt, Bo Corrales, and it was number 5 that caught the ball, but you get the idea, not 25. Illegal touching on Daz Newsome, so no touchdown.
There's a lot to remember for the referee.
Yeah. So still 2nd down and goal. And a nice bounce back performance by North Carolina after that disappointing finish in Tallahassee last week. Carter, and ripped down by Peyton Wilson. A rare tackle on first contact for NC State against those backs.
You know, Dave, go back to that again. And talking to Mac Brown about last week, he said they don't handle success well. You know, it's a team that was 3-0, ranked number 5. He says we weren't the number 5 team in the country. You know, and then they're down 31-7 at halftime. And we talked to Michael Carter yesterday, the running back for North Carolina. He said we went into the locker room, we were confident we were going to come back and win. And for the sake of 3 drops on the last drive, they may have won that game.
3rd down and goal. Everybody covered. Howell takes off. Throws back to the middle, and it's incomplete. And that loss by North Carolina, because the top 2 teams from the ACC will play in the ACC championship game, and you got Notre Dame and Clemson. You already mentioned Carolina doesn't play Clemson, but they do host Notre Dame Thanksgiving weekend. They also have to go to Miami.
Here's an eligible receiver. Pass across the line of scrimmage. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. There's an automatic 1st down.
Oh, wow.
Brutal penalty there on Jakeem Harris. But for Carolina, no more room for error. Now, that maybe is asking too much from them to go to 2 wins 2 years ago, 7 wins last year, to playing in the ACC title game, but the players certainly expect that. So 1st down and goal, nothing there for Carter.
Now, you know, you sit there and you look at the schedule for them, and listen, Mac would be hate we're doing this because at 3-0 they were getting thumped by Florida State, but you know they look like they're on their way in this game. Then at Virginia, at Duke, then home to Wake Forest, and then back-to-back Notre Dame and at Miami. Again, they don't play Clemson in the regular season, but they do have Notre Dame and Miami.
Howell with the pitch to Williams on 2nd and goal. Williams is in for his 2nd touchdown this quarter. He broke 3 tackles, including 1 against his offensive lineman.
I'm with you. I'm just amazed. I mean, they're at least they tried to wrap up on the tackle and still miss it. Devon Boykin, the true freshman. We've seen shoulder tackles bounce off, wrapped up guys just sliding down and off of them. He is incredible at breaking tackles.
So he's got 11 touchdowns now on the year. He was 3rd in the country with 9 coming into today. He's got 9 rushing, 2 receiving, and it is 38-7.
I thought we were a little comfortable at Florida State.
Oh boy, and that pass is intercepted. They got run over by a freight train in this 1st half.
I didn't think we handled it well. We've been overrated.
Here's the play of their season. Howell dropped again. 3rd in a row.
We weren't the top 5 team in the country.
You hear Coach Brown there say that they weren't the top 5 team in the country, and he meant that because they weren't ready for the stage. I know, Dave, you mentioned that earlier. But he said that when he left Texas, he didn't leave Texas the way he wanted to. He didn't leave the game the way that he wanted, and it left a sour taste in his mouth. He said he couldn't handle losing, and he couldn't stand to see injury reshape the trajectory of young men's lives. That's why he got out. And then when he got inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, they told him, you need to take a year. Take a year before you're actually inducted. He said, what's that all about? They said, you need to take this year and thank every single person that got you here. So he went back to every single station that he ever coached. And when he came to Chapel Hill, so many of his former players came back. And the camaraderie was beautiful. Coach, you remember when you chewed my butt about this? Coach, you remember when you went to my dad's funeral? Coach, remember when you spoke at my wedding? And his wife, Sally, when they left here that night, said, I haven't seen you with that gleam. I haven't seen you that happy since you left coaching. If this thing ever opens up, you should seriously consider going back to Chapel Hill, and that's where he is, and he has turned this thing around so quickly.
You got Bailey Hockman in the game now at quarterback for NC State, a penalty marker down. And, you know, you're talking, Marty, about Mac Brown and Larry Fedora. They were pretty good friends, so there was some conversation going on.
Defense, number 4. It's an eligible receiver, pass across the line of scrimmage, 10-yard penalty, first down.
There was some conversation going on when Mac was approached about that job, and he reached out and talked it through with Coach Fedora, who he had a great amount of respect for. But you look at that Texas job now. Nobody's been able to win since he was there, and you know, Tom Herman, who knows what the future holds for him if Texas doesn't play better here the next few weeks. Hockman throwing the ball downfield. That pass on the money. Caught by Thayer Thomas.
Wow, excellent throw, goes to the outside. That's what you need, a guy making a play for you, as Hockman trying to redeem himself from being benched earlier in the game.
Hockman again throwing it downfield, and it is caught for a, let's see here, wait. On the ground, they're going to say incomplete. Thought it was caught there for a second. Penalty marker is down. Like Hollins got tangled up there with Carter. At least they're letting them take some shots, though.
Pass interference, defense number 15. The penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot, first down.
And with 3,500 in attendance along with the Carolina sideline, they don't like that call.
They don't. It's Day Hollins with the interference. Let's see what we can see on this.
Eight penalties now in North Carolina, so NC State in the red zone. 35-yard pass play on the previous play. Now to the end zone. Hockman through the hands of Thayer Thomas. Couldn't hang on.
So let's see if we can see where this interference was on Hollins. He has the inside position. Now he's looking at the receiver, now looking back at the ball. I sure didn't see any interference. At least on that view. Maybe we have another that may show that. That looked like good coverage.
I'm with you. Second down and 10. Hockman in trouble. Escapes. Dumps it off. It's caught. Not into the end zone, though, as Brooks couldn't keep his feet, but it will be first and goal.
This is making it really interesting, Dave, on North Carolina State looking to score here on what they're going to do next week at the quarterback position.
There's Hockman keeping it, and he's in for the touchdown.
So just quarterback keeper all the way, nothing fancy. Finds a hole, gets in for the score, but you know, Finley, the true freshman, comes in as this guy Hockman gets benched. Finley comes in, a lot of pep, gets the offense on a few good drives. Then it starts to fall apart a little bit for him as the bread and butter plays he was doing started to be defended a little better. He seemed to not be able to handle it as well. So the coach is saying, you know what, we're going to pull him back out and put Hockman back in, takes him down for a score.
Dunn puts it through. Let's get a Syracuse-Clemson update from Matt Berry.
All right, guys, a little separation for the Clemson Tigers here. Rex Culpepper's not how you do it. Andrew Booth Jr. ball comes out, and we had a right place, right time, scoop and score. Right now, 34-21, start of the fourth on the ACC network.
All right, meanwhile here, there was a penalty flag on the point after, Matt. Boy, it's...
The result of the kick is good. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 71 of the kicking team. It's number 71's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul. The penalty being assessed 15 yards on the succeeding kickoff.
So that's Joe Sculthorpe, but man, it's awfully hard to beat Clemson anyway. And then when you know,
hand
cough
them
the
one.
ball up and the defensive touchdown percentages go way down, they weren't high to begin with.
Yeah, you basically hand them one there. But it's been impressive so far for Syracuse. Let's see how that one keeps going as Ohio State is pulling away from Nebraska up 38-17. And this one, we weren't sure what kind of a game we were going to get. You know, with North Carolina coming off the loss and North Carolina State having to deal with Devin Leary, their starting quarterback, breaking his leg in their win last week. So we saw the quarterback issues today with Hockman starting the game, getting benched for the true freshman Ben Finley, Ryan Finley's brother. Ryan Finley, who played ball here and is now the backup in Cincinnati with the Bengals. So, as I said, going forward, it's going to be an interesting decision on what they want to do at that position, because Leary is going to be out for a while as an onside kick.
And ball on the ground. Looked like North Carolina recovered it. So the Tar Heels will have possession here with 33 seconds to go in the third.
It's kind of your hybrid onside kick, right? Just kind of kick it behind the first line a little bit. Try and beat the guys there. Not a bad little effort. Down 38-14. You know, the offense for North Carolina, they're moving the ball. They're running it extremely well. They have 233 yards rushing. So you're going to have to try and make some of those other types of plays to get yourself back in it if you can.
Yeah, I got to imagine, Mike, that when Dave Doran is asked about this game afterwards, he's going to be more disappointed with his defense than with his offense. Especially knowing that that group had to step up with,
Play clock should have been
as you
set
mentioned,
25 seconds. Ball is not laid ready for play. There will be no charge timeout to North Carolina.
But with the injury to Leary, you got to think, you know, the defense have been playing well. We got a pretty good group in that front seven, but they did not get it done. They got pushed around today. First down for Carolina on the Wolfpack 45. And they wrap up Carter after a short game.
I agree completely, Dave. You know, between both these teams, but really when we were talking about North Carolina State being led by that trio of linebackers, now we know one of them, Peyton Wilson, the sixth, you know, best leading tackler in the country at 11 per game. He has been nicked this entire game as the third quarter is going to come to an end. Yeah, I'm with you. Going with the backup quarterback, I thought that defense was going to have to be the key to this game for NC State.
NC State had a chance to get into this game when they were down 7, but some turnovers by the Wolfpack led to Tar Heel touchdowns, and Carolina's up big with 1 quarter to play at Kenan Stadium. Mike Golick in Bristol, Dave Pasch in Arizona. Marty Smith is in Chapel Hill, where it's 81 degrees right now. Our ABC Prime game, Michigan, Minnesota. Temperature will be in the 20s. It's at 30 right now, where you guys had to be absolutely freezing outside today for game day. Sorry, fellas. 2nd and 7, big hole for Carter. It's been the story of the game. North Carolina running all over that NC State defense.
Well, stunner. That one put Michael Carter over 100 yards for the day. Javonte Williams at 133 yards. So here you go, just a zone play to the left. he ends up cutting it all the way back to the right. We've seen that happen a couple of times. They've done it both ways. They've cut it all the way back. They've kept going play side and getting the corner. I'm still amazed like you are, Dave. This North Carolina State defense had to be what stepped up today, and it has been the North Carolina offense that has been up to the task.
I know they were picked 11th preseason rankings and they have some injuries, but just expected more. Again, huge running room for Javonte Williams. He'll basically walk in for the North Carolina touchdown. That's his third of the second half.
Wow. Right guard Kejuan Johnson, number 69, comes around, pulls around the center, comes up through the hole, just absolutely takes care of his block, and Williams basically untouched. And even if he's touched, he's usually breaking those tackles anyway. He made it easy on him here.
So 12 total touchdowns on the season for Javonte Williams. It is 45-14 North Carolina early in the fourth. This season, for every field goal, an extra point made by participating universities, All-State will make a contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, All-State. Dave Pash, Mike Golick, and Marty Smith. Prior to Mac Brown's arrival, over a 2-year span, they were 121st in the country in fourth quarter point margin. Since Mac took over, they're the best. And they've already got a touchdown here in the fourth, less than a minute in. It'll come out to the 25 for NC State. Here's Matt Berry.
Guys, had a good day for TCU's defense, but a good day for Spencer Rattler and the Sooners. Watch this catch here by Marvin Mims. TCU is going to fall to 1-3, it looks like, for the first time the turn of the century. Watch this catch in the Ohio State game by Jackson Smith-Njigba. True freshman gets the one toe in. It is all Buckeyes.
Wow.
Yeah, you saw him rule it incomplete there initially. They showed Mike on Twitter the replay of the other angle. It's one of the best catches I've ever seen.
There was
how he got that foot down.
No way you thought he was getting that foot down.
Hockman has to keep it here, and he picks up a couple. Brought down by Surratt. So with Ohio State and Nebraska opening Big Ten play, Scott Frost, the Nebraska coach, says he's giving most of the credit for the Big Ten being back to Ohio State. I know that, Mike, you were among many very hard on the Big Ten for making the decision not to play. At least they rectified it, and they're back. Second down and 9. And Hockman able to hit Houston out of the backfield. Out of bounds around the 30.
Yeah, I listen, and it's not like I'm saying, oh, what does Golick think they should have just played, through COVID? No, that's not what I'm saying. They still could have not played, but to make the decision to not play then and really end all the practices and end everything, I think was the wrong move. Like the SEC did and like the ACC did, you still had the time, to where you have a couple of weekends where you could push games. Now, the Big Ten's not going to have that. The Pac-12's not going to have that. So what they did is they corrected their own mistake, quite honestly. It was their doing of stopping this, and now they made the right move to try and play now.
Here's Rooks getting the first down past the 40 and up to midfield. And obviously, the power that Ohio State has, able to help move things in a positive direction to bringing the Big Ten back. And what a game we have tonight with Michigan, Minnesota from Minneapolis. Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One, 7:30 ABC.
Yeah, Tanner Morgan. See what he's going to do with the vet, and Joe Milton, another different quarterback here in Michigan. It's kind of been the story for Harbaugh.
Rashad Bateman opting back in for Minnesota. Hockman's pass broken up in the middle of the field, intended for Mezzi. Checking with Marty.
I think there's another variable at play in the Big Ten's return that certainly deserves mention. And that's that I think that the We Want to Play movement was a seminal moment in the power of the player, because there were so many variables involved, certainly COVID testing being very, very high up there. But it was also the passion of the Big Ten parents, and it was the passion of guys like Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields going on television, going on social media, continuing to say we are safer in our own buildings than we would be going home. And Dabo Swinney actually told me last week, before I did the Clemson game last week, that if you don't believe that, you should go home with some of these young men. They need one another. They need one another physically. They need one another mentally. They need one another spiritually. And that We Want to Play movement was spearheaded by Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. And I think that has been an underreported, underappreciated part of all this, is the power of the player.
I agree, Marty. And I think also, Mike, guys, as there's a flag down, there's been so much negative attention, negative reporting about, well, this game's been postponed or that game's been postponed because of COVID. But how about the fact now, we're in late October and we're still playing college football. Games are still going on. There were a lot of people thought we wouldn't make it this far.
No, that's exactly right. We saw early trouble in baseball, Major League Baseball. They have been doing very well as of late. We're certainly seeing hiccups now and then in the NFL as they go on, and we've definitely seen it more in college, but there's way more. As we see a little crossing route here, we've seen way more in college because there's more players, there's more teams. So I think the odds would say you're going to have more cases of it. And as you've heard all these coaches say, it's not been so much the COVID positive test, but the contact tracing. Guys that, as we have a timeout, guys that don't even have COVID, but still have to sit for a couple of weeks because of contact tracing. So more guys are missing.
All right, we got an injured NC State player. Will step aside with North Carolina in full control of this one.
ESPN College Football is presented by Geico. Happy Geico-ween. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance. And in part by Burger King. Mix and match your favorites for just $5.
That's definitely fall, and Halloween tells us that just a heartbeat away from winter, as the left tackle, Akem Ikwanu, also known as Icky, was shaken up on that last play for NC State. Now 4th and 14, and the Wolfpack will go for it, down by 31. Bailey Hockman, who started the game but was pulled back on the field, and he gets sacked by Tamon Fox, and North Carolina takes over on down. So prior to the game, and a sign of unity and solidarity and the fight against racism and the fight for social justice, arm in arm on both sidelines at Kenan Stadium.
We have another true freshman quarterback. Jacoby Criswell is in. Sam Howell's day is done.
Criswell will hand it off here to Cedric Gray, gain of 3.
Dave, as you stated there, the social justice movement is prevalent throughout college football. The players have a voice like never before, but coaches throughout the country are imploring their players, use your voice, but make sure that you're educated on what you're talking about. Make sure that the words that you use and whatnot are impactful. And we talked to Mack Brown about this, and he said, make sure that you guys are prepared. And if there's anything that you don't feel you can say, tell me, I'll say it. So the player said, well, Coach, what do you think we should say? And Mack Brown said, guys, I don't know, I'm white. Brown told us, I thought white privilege was that I was white and had money. That's not it at all. He said they started to have conversations that were very difficult and very impactful, and that there were actually 2 coaches on the staff, which he did not name, one white coach and one black coach, who weren't talking to each other, not because they didn't like each other, but because they didn't know what to say. And because of football, those conversations began, and they've filtered throughout the entire program. And it's been extremely beneficial. And Coach Brown said he has learned so much about his players on a personal, visceral, emotional level this season than he maybe ever has before.
All right, Marty, this football has brought a lot of people together, right? A lot of teams have grown closer through all this as Criswell keeps it after British Brooks lit up a defender on that last play. Criswell from Arkansas getting an opportunity here to play in the fourth quarter.
Number 2 player out of Arkansas, number 11th rated dual threat quarterback in the nation. He's taking the snap from another true freshman, Donathan Adorno, the center. So this is where other guys get some playing time. But great words by Mac Brown. I mean, when he was talking to him, and I want to get into that a little more because he had said some really, really great things.
Bad snap. It bounces right to Brooks, and he's brought down for a loss. Let's check in with Matt.
Guys, what a back-and-forth game we have between Auburn and Ole Miss. Auburn down 1. Bo Nix to Seth Williams. Perfect back shoulder throw. Williams does the rest. He also got the 2-point conversion. Ole Miss has the ball down 7, 8 seconds left.
That's big for Bo Nix, too, after watching last week, him struggling on the road late. Goes to his best player, Seth Williams. Smart move.
Yeah, Auburn been 0-2 on the road this season.
They run it here on 3rd down and 9, and they're going to come up well short of the line to gain. It'll be 4th down with Henderson, the ball carrier. Go ahead, Mike, if you want to make your point on Mac.
With Mac, I asked him because there were 2 really good friends of mine who played, coached, and then got out of it and then back into it. Bill Curry, who I called games with for years, and then Herm Edwards, who I work with at ESPN. Got out of it, went to the media, and then got back in it. Mac did the same thing. And I said, what was the big difference for you? And he said, early on, the first time around, my head was in a bubble. I was just what was going on right in front of me. He said, now I've learned so much happens off the field as well with these players that I want to be responsible for, and I want to help influence them. Not that he didn't do it before, but even more now, especially with social issues going on as well. He thought I could have such an impact on players both on and off the field, and he really expressed that he loved that part of the game right now. I think the game is much better for having a man like that back in trying to develop young men.
Grayson Atkins, who has made a 40-yarder at the end of the first half. That was a big field goal because NC State had momentum, and he had missed earlier from 22 and missed a couple of shorter field goals earlier in the year. Well, for North Carolina to have a chance to still get into that ACC title game, you'd have to figure that Atkins is going to have to make a big kick at some point. So he's out there to continue to get some work. 34-yard try here. 4th down and 7. And he nails it. 48-14 North Carolina over NC State. Elsewhere in the ACC, coming up shortly over on ABC, Notre Dame ranked 3rd, had a scary game last week against Louisville. Those two play Pittsburgh, and then on ACC Network tonight, Miami, which is currently ranked 11th, taking on Virginia. Our weekend wake-up brought to you by Wendy's Breakfast. We also have Big Ten on ABC tonight, Michigan, Minnesota, South Carolina, LSU on ESPN. The defending champs, Tigers, are 1-2. Mike, what are your thoughts on Notre Dame going into that game with Pitt?
Let me tell you, that is always such a physical game. I think Notre Dame's a 10-point favorite here, but I'm going to tell you what I'm looking forward to in this game. Notre Dame's passing attack's not very good this year, but they're 7th in the country, averaging 261 yards on the ground. They have a great offensive line. But Pitt's defense, Dave, giving up 61 yards a game on the ground, 1.9 yards per rush. Look at that matchup. O-line against front 7 for Pittsburgh on how that now. Notre Dame's defense is pretty good in its own right overall. I believe they are 4th in all of college football. So as we look at the rankings again in the ACC, remember again, no divisions. Clemson, Notre Dame, the only undefeated teams left. We talked about this being a kind of an elimination game, and North Carolina taking care of NC State right now. Notre Dame and Clemson play on November 7th at Notre Dame. But yeah, Notre Dame are going to have their hands full with Pitt, no doubt about it. Very, very tough defense. 2 really, really good defenses on the field today in that one.
NC State 1st and 10 on his 25 with Bailey Hockman in the game again at quarterback. The loss of Devin Leary as Hockman's pass is caught near the first down by Justin Dunn. But you know, the loss of Devin Leary, you have to wonder if Leary doesn't go down and NC State playing the way it was would not just today have been different, but the rest of the season for the Wolfpack, and they have been killed by injuries the last 2 seasons. They're already at their win total from a year ago as Hockman's pass is caught in NC territory by Anthony Smith.
You know, it's been a interesting, you know, for the number of years, his 8th year here, we've seen, you know, a bit of a turnover, you know, with some of the coaching staff in him. There's only one on the staff now that's been here since before 2019. So really kind of shuffling the deck here with coaches.
Dave, you mentioned the fact that NC State is 4-1 entering this game, and Dave Doran, the head coach, actually told us it's amazing, and the reason why is before the students came back to Raleigh, they had 3 COVID positives total. After the students came back, he said they had 47 and 80 guys out for 8 days due to contact tracing. He said the fact that we're 4-1 with all that is amazing. Now, the way that COVID has impacted the Tar Heels, here's what Mac Brown told us. There is no team. There is no routine. It's all about survival this year. This year is survive and advance, and it looks like the Tar Heels might do that today.
Such a challenging year on so many levels, and I think for the head coaches, the job of managing all this, having to change on a dime. All these guys are so used to their daily and weekly routines, but those went out the window long ago. 3rd down and 10. Hockman throwing it deep, and it's incomplete over the head of the intended receiver, Dunn.
I mean, what coaches have to deal with anyway, as really CEOs, you know, of a team, whether it's college or in the NFL, and then this on top of it. I mean, you're basically trying to practice all week, and then you're literally crossing your fingers, hoping the tests come up negative. All these players and coaches and everybody in the sport group test 3 times a week, and you kind of hold your breath, hoping, you know, someone doesn't test positive. So we see a completion for a 1st down. Because if that happens, then not only the positive, but then as I think, Dave, with the games we've done to a coach, they said the contact tracing is what gets you. 1 guy tests positive and 10 guys are out because of contact tracing.
And you also have the recruiting aspect of it as Hockman throws a beautiful pass to the end zone that's caught for a touchdown by Smith. Penalty flag down, but that was a great throw by Hockman.
Illegal substitution. Defensive players did not get off the field in time. That penalty will be declined, resulting in the play as a touchdown.
It's got to feel good for Hockman getting some confidence back on. Dave throwing the ball down the field. That was an excellent throw. He had one early in the game like this that we thought a receiver should have had. I believe it was Devin Carter. You know, here another one lays out there, nice air underneath the ball. A lot of credit for Hockman. You thought he maybe had his chance, you know, with Leary out for a while, maybe on the bench for a while when the true freshman came in, but getting another chance here. And even though I know it's kind of cleanup time here, he's trying to make the most of it.
For teams, 2 semifinals, New Year's Day, the college football playoff lives on ESPN.
Welcome back to College Football on ESPN, presented by Geico. North Carolina leading North Carolina State 48-21. The Tar Heels on their way to a 4-1 record. Still big games against Notre Dame and at Miami on the schedule. Try to keep their hopes alive of an ACC championship and maybe more. NC State with an onside kick earlier. This time Colin Smith just kicks it deep. And it will go out of bounds, so a flag. Good starting field position for North Carolina. Here's Marty.
Free kick out of bounds.
Excuse me, Matt, the studio.
Matt, Marty, all the same. One has an accent, one doesn't. And I also have Notre Dame and Pitt coming up ABC. You heard Golick talk about that a second ago. Just a good old-fashioned football rivalry. And can Sam Ehlinger in Texas get this thing right? Lucky for you guys, you're calling the game from home. You can just roll over to the couch and watch a full day of college ball. Here we go now. I'll be Marty, back to you.
You both have great hair, Matt, so whether I'm going to the studio or the sideline, somebody's got much better salad than me.
Dave, a lot of people have better salad than you. Sorry, buddy.
That's you do as well. See, this picture that we have here on the screen right now, I mean, that's from like 17 years ago when I started at ESPN. I want to update that one. Javonte Williams gets the carry, gain of about 5.
I'm going to have another question for Marty here soon about another kind of 6 degrees of separation with the. We keep going to Matt Barry in the studio. I'm going to have a very difficult question that Marty Smith is going to have to answer. That's a tease, we like to say. It's going to happen.
Well, we got some time. We'll get that in. So Jacoby Criswell running the offense for North Carolina. Sam Howell's day is done. The outstanding true sophomore. Turned 20 years of age last month. Really impressive showing again. Whistle here before the snap.
I'll start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, next Saturday in primetime over on ACC Network, it's the South's oldest rivalry game. It's North Carolina and Virginia in Charlottesville. They've met a total of 124 times going back to 1892. Don't have ACC Network? Go to getaccn.com for instant access. Josh Henderson with a ton of running room, and the onslaught on the ground continues. North Carolina well over 300 rushing yards today.
Yeah, well over 300 yards now rushing. Doesn't matter who's in on the line or running back, they're all getting it done right now. A lot of subs in here. How many times we've seen the play start one way and then end up the other way. North Carolina State losing contain on backside plays, and North Carolina really make them pay for it to the tune of 322 yards on the ground. They've been averaging 229, which is 11th in all of college football, but that ranking may be moving up after this game.
Michael Carter and Javonte Williams, outstanding duo. Criswell keeps this himself, but those two guys, the only duo in the country to average over 100 yards on the ground each.
I mean, again, incredible. Now we didn't give enough love. I always try to, because I have a son who is an O-lineman, and what the O-line has done. But we've also mentioned how many times these guys, especially that man right there, breaking tackles, leads the country in breaking tackles. So even when they are getting hit, they're making yards. They're making positive yards, falling forward. And again, we've seen out of the backfield some as well, improving in that aspect of the game. But you're not going to find a better 1-2 rushing tandem in the country than Michael Carter and Javonte Williams.
Josh Henderson, another carry. Maybe a yard on that play.
That's not bad. Wow. My math says 312 total yards, scrimmage yards for those guys.
And that's the thing. I mean, they both can catch the ball. Both have double-digit receptions on the season. And there was a long throw to Michael Carter on one play. And a beautiful catch. It makes last week mind-boggling that they got down that much too to Florida State.
Yeah. And what's going to happen after this one? A successful game, and again, now what Mac Brown's going to tell this team and talk to them. Hey, you know what? Again, you may not handle success well, so every game you have to take how important that game is, and you can't relax for a bit. So this game again looks to be in hand. Then at Virginia, at Duke, then Wake Forest, and then, as we mentioned, back-to-back games of Notre Dame and Miami. they're going to be favored in all those games leading up to the Notre Dame game. I don't think there's any, unless they trip up along the way. And that's Mack Brown and the coaching staff and the leaders of this team from a player standpoint. That's going to be their job, to make sure there is no letdown.
And Mack going to call a timeout here on 4th down.
Hey, Marty, I'd like to ask you a question if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
I know we've been going to Matt Berry in studio, and I know Matt Berry and my son Mike do the Thursday night games. And this past Thursday, Arkansas State, Appalachian State, you were doing sideline for them. Matt Berry, my son, and yourself. And in this game, it's me and Dave Pash and you. So you have now worked with my son on Thursday, and now me today. So without putting you on the spot, who's better, me or my son?
Oh, that would be on the spot. Yeah, I could use a cup of coffee. So first, before we get to that, it's Appalachian, not Appalachian.
I'm sorry.
I love you. Second, Matt Berry needs to really work on his Appalachian accent. He just sounded like a extra from Hee Haw in 1978 there, trying to mock me. And now let's go down the list. You, Mike Sr., win the salad department. You win the bifocal readers department. You win the sage advice and wisdom department. Junior wins the intensity department and the shoe game department. And I think the kindness department is a push, because you're both such wonderfully nice, kind people and both very talented. So I don't know the tally, but I'm going to go ahead and say it's a push. I will ride the fence when it comes to people I love, because I don't want to hurt any feelings. So ultimately, that's how I go down the list. I do feel, though, like the readers might just push you over the line, maybe just a little bit.
I appreciate that.
I felt like Matt was preparing for politics with
it did. I mean, seriously, I was going to say that's some weak sauce for not picking, but I'm glad you finally gave me the edge there with the bifocals, because I ain't not gonna...
I mean, I think I have to, right? So first of all, my mom and daddy taught me to respect my elders. You have me by a couple of years, so I will do that. And I don't think that Junior's going to give me too much grief. He might, but he'll get over it, right? Dad wins. You win.
Boom.
Well,
and this mask, I'm trying so hard to keep it on my face. It's a difficult task.
Ty goes to the ball came out there at the end. I thought it was a catch, but the other thing that Marty forgot to mention, and this is something we were talking about just a couple of minutes ago, and I think this breaks the tie. The hair game. No hair for Junior.
No, I said the salad.
For Senior.
That was my very first check mark.
Did you say it?
Yeah, he did.
Did you? Okay, I missed that.
The salad, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's no debating that. I mean, Senior's got a really good head of hair. I mean, it's hanging on. It looks real good, nice and thick. And then Junior looks kind of like a cue ball. But he takes good care of that cue ball.
But I guess my point is, who wins, having less hair or more hair?
Oh,
that should declare the winner. Less hair, I think, is a better thing.
Well, I think that so Mike has a lot of hair and I got a lot of hair. So I think we overrule you on this debate, right?
That's fair. All right. Let's finish this thing up here. Hockman on 2nd down and 7 with a completion out near the 42-yard line. NC State going to be tough to bounce back. Got to kind of figure out things defensively, and then where they're going to go with quarterback, whether it's going to be Hockman or Ben Finley. And then for North Carolina, can the Tar Heels just do this? Can they impose their will from an offensive standpoint? And can they take the ball away on defense like they did today? Our game continues on ESPN News. Baylor and Texas. Mark Jones and Dusty Dvorak starts now.
So,
welcome everyone to ESPN College Football.